Chapter 31, Will You Marry Me? After the photo shoot, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned to the college to take a group photo. The sun set in the west, its afterglow shining brightly. In the blink of an eye, it was evening, and Lin Xian and Li Mengyao, their fingers intertwined, strolled through the campus. Their pace was light and leisurely, as if they wanted to imprint this familiar land deeply in their hearts. The school buildings were bathed in a golden glow against the setting sun. As the sun gradually set in the west, the golden glow became more intense, symbolizing the end of the two students' university careers. In the evening, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned to the Jinwan mansion. Lin Xian opened the door and took Li Mengyao's hand, walking step by step towards the living room. "Why don't you turn on the lights?" It was dark at night, and Li Mengyao vaguely sensed that the living room in her house was different from usual. Lin Xian did not respond, but continued to lead the way to the center of the living room. Lin Xian snapped his fingers, and the lights in the room instantly came on. Li Mengyao was surprised to find that the living room was filled with colorful balloons and flowers arranged in the shape of a heart, and the romantic candlelight was swaying in the air. Li Mengyao blinked in surprise, her mouth slightly open, not knowing what to say. Lin Xian carefully took out an exquisite little box from his pocket, gently opened the lid, and inside lay a 2-carat diamond ring shining with brilliant radiance. The ring was worth 500,000 yuan, and every angle of it reflected a dazzling light, as if telling a story of endless luxury and preciousness. Lin Xian then knelt down on one knee, looking deeply into Li Mengyao's eyes and saying, "Mengyao, I'm so glad to have met you during my final year at university. From the moment we met, I knew you would be my lifelong partner. Darling, will you marry me? Let's spend the rest of our lives together, creating our own happiness." Li Mengyao was already moved to tears. She gently took the ring, took a deep breath to calm her emotions, nodded with a smile, and said in a firm but soft voice, "I do." These 3 words echoed through the air like heavenly music. Lin Xian's face was beaming with happiness. He had finally married the woman of his dreams. Lin Xian stood up and put his arms around Li Mengyao in a tight embrace. Li Mengyao also put her small hands around Lin Xian's waist and enjoyed this moment of bliss. "My dear, let me put this on you," said Lin Xian, looking deeply into his wife's flushed face. "MMM." The two of them simultaneously let go, and Li Mengyao extended her fair left hand, as Lin Xian picked up the sparkling diamond ring and gently placed it on her finger. "It looks so good." Li Mengyao kept swinging her left hand, looking at her diamond ring from different angles. Suddenly, Li Mengyao froze for a moment, as she thought about the ring she had to give Lin Xian. "Honey, wait a second." Li Mengyao quickly jogged back into the room and rummaged through the cabinet to find the men's ring. Then she looked at the diamond ring on her own hand again, and instantly felt that the ring she had bought was really cheap. After a while, Li Mengyao walked out of the room with a wry face, and came to Lin Xian's side, her hands tightly clasped behind her back. "Hubby, you hold out your hand." Lin Xian looked at his somewhat nervous wife and smiled, holding out his left hand. Li Mengyao gently put the men's ring on Lin Xian's hand. "I have a ring for you too, but mine is cheaper. Don't mind it, I will work hard to earn more money to buy you a better one." After saying that, Li Mengyao lowered her head slightly, and her small hands once again clenched tightly together. Lin Xian looked at the exquisite and unique ring in his hand and smiled cheerfully. "Honey, I really like it." Lin Xian once again held Li Mengyao tightly in his arms, face to face. He tenderly kissed Li Mengyao's soft cheeks, then her nose, and finally landed on her seductive lips. "Okay, I'll clean up a bit, and you can rest first, wife," Lin Xian said with a smile. "No, I haven't seen enough yet, so let's clean up tomorrow," Li Mengyao said coquettishly to Lin Xian. "Okay," Lin Xian said with adoring eyes. The two then nestled on the sofa and watched a show together under the big screen. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao also posted their own versions of the moment on WeChat Moments. They were pictures of the two of them at the school's Century Plaza in their graduation photo and at the scene of the marriage proposal, and finally a picture of one big hand holding one small hand, both hands adorned with dazzling rings that caught the eye. The comments on Lin Xian's side. Zhang Shulan, son, good for you. Lin Zhenghua only posted a thumbs up. Lin Cece, brother, is that it? Zhang Shulan, Cece, aren't you preparing for your final exams? Lin Cece withdraws a comment. Zhou Quan, congratulations, I wish you the best. Zhong Zixing, congratulations, Lin Xian is really fast. Chen Jingming, I'll book a best man. Li Mengyao's comments are relatively few, as she only has a few real close friends at university. Lu Yusin, Yo-Yo, my Yo-Yo. Chen Manman, congratulations. Uxin, wake up, Yao Yao is no longer yours. Yang Lin, Mom, congratulations. This is too fast, like riding a rocket? Lin Xianzhang was engrossed in reading the comments when the system's crisp voice rang in his ears again. Ding dong, congratulations to the host on his successful marriage proposal. Reward 100% of the shares of Jinghai City Jinwan Technology Company, Limited, which will take effect tomorrow. Please check. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for triggering the lottery mechanism, and you are rewarded with one chance to draw. The current prize pool includes 1. A 3-time bonus card, 2. An exclusive fish recipe book, 3. Thank you for reviewing. Would the host like to draw? Last time, I won a free store decoration redemption coupon, but this time, it was cancelled. In other words, if you draw enough times, you will definitely win something from the prize pool. This time, I won't cheat Joe Quan, I'll just draw. Drawl. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for winning an exclusive fish recipe book, which has been placed on the desk in Jinwanfu. Please check. Our prize pool is 1 item less for each draw. If there is only thank you for reviewing left at the end, the system will refresh the prize pool. This system is so powerful. Chapter 32 The New Chairman. Before going to bed at night, Li Mengyao lay in Lin Xian's arms, constantly playing with the diamond ring in her hand, never getting tired of looking at it. Honey, how much did you pay for this diamond ring? Li Mengyao knew that this diamond ring was worth a lot of money, but she couldn't help asking. 500,000, Lin Xian answered truthfully. Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes widened after hearing this, and her face was full of disbelief. She didn't think it would be so expensive. What do you need to buy something so expensive for? It makes it seem like I gave it to you for free. Li Mengyao's little head was pressed against Lin Xian's chest. It's okay, I like everything my wife gives me. If it really isn't balanced, just give me a few more kisses. Lin Xian said with a smirk and a serious face. Lin Xian knew that his wife's ring was definitely not as good as his, but he could also tell at a glance that the ring in his hands was not a cheap product either, at least it was worth tens of thousands of dollars. For a family like Li Mengyao's, they must have saved up every penny at university to save up this sum of money, and Lin Xian was very moved. Ha? Why are you doing it again? A sharp pain came from his waist, and Lin Xian quickly reached out to grab the restless little hand. Every day you just know how to kiss, don't you get tired of it? Li Mengyao looked up, pretending to be angry. No, you can never get tired of kissing your wife. After saying that, Lin Xian rubbed his face against Li Mengyao's. I'm going to sleep. Li Mengyao struggled a little. When his wife said she was sleepy, Lin Xian had to let her go. Just as he let go, Li Mengyao suddenly pounced, came up to him and kissed him on the lips, then quickly pulled away and turned around to go to sleep. Classic flirt and run. What can you do? You can only spoil her. Lin Xian followed and fell asleep together. In the early morning of July, the sun had just risen, and the first ray of golden sunlight sprinkled down on the earth like a veil. Lin Xian got up early and made breakfast in the kitchen while flipping through the exclusive fish recipe book given to him by the system yesterday. This recipe book is actually a collection of various fish recipes and secret seasonings, which according to the book can enhance the freshness of the fish by a notch. Lin Xian decided to try it at noon. Suddenly, the phone rang, and Lin Xian answered it. Good boy, son. Zhang Shulan's delighted voice came over the phone. Mum, you weren't this happy when I got first in the exam. Lin Xian was speechless. How can this be compared? Oh, I'll soon have a beautiful daughter-in-law and a plump grandchild. Right, Mum, you'd better pick a good day for us to get the certificate. Lin Xian suddenly thought of something. Right, I was so happy I almost forgot about it. Son, just wait. Zhang Shulan then hung up the phone and went straight to look at the calendar for 2025. She hung up on me? Am I not her real son? Lin Xian went back to making breakfast. It wasn't long before Zhang Shulan called again. Son, the 7th of this month is perfect. July 7th, what a lucky day. It's especially suitable for getting married. Her tone was full of anticipation and excitement. Then, Zhang Shulan continued to explain, the 7th day of the 7th lunar month is the day when the cowherd and the weaver girl meet on the Magpie Bridge, which means that lovers will eventually become family. And the word 7 also has the meaning of reunion and happiness. Choosing this day to get married will definitely bring you happiness and good luck. Okay, Mom, I'll discuss it with Mengyao later, Lin Xian said. Where's my daughter-in-law? She's still sleeping. Okay, then. Take good care of her and call me if anything happens. Okay. After hanging up, Lin Xian also felt that July 7th was a very good day. Soon, the breakfast was ready, and just as Lin Xian was about to wake up the lazybones, the phone rang again. He thought it was his mother who had forgotten to tell him something, but when he looked at the unfamiliar caller ID, he realized it was a stranger. Hello, who is this? Hello, Mr. Lin, this is Yi Tiancheng, the chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited. Hello, Mr. Yi. Lin Xian was a little surprised. He didn't expect the system to be so efficient. Mr. Lin, I'm really sorry to disturb you so early. Do you have time to come to the company today? I want to talk to you about the specific matters of the company's handover. Yi Tiancheng's tone was very polite. Someone who can buy all the shares of Jinwan Technology at a high price must be a big shot. Okay, I'll be there in a while. Lin Xian hung up the phone, had a quick breakfast, and put Li Mengyao's portion in the thermal cabinet. Lin Xian then went into the room and gently shook Li Mengyao awake. Honey, I'm going out for a bit. Remember to eat breakfast. After saying this, Lin Xian kissed her fair cheek. Be careful on the old highway. Li Mengyao rubbed her eyes drowsily and gave her instructions. Soon, Lin Xian arrived at Jinwan Technology Company, Limited in his Maybach. Although this company did not look large, its building design was unique, with a simple and elegant appearance and a courtyard full of greenery. The company logo was eye-catching and unique, highlighting the company's brand image. After parking the car, Lin Xian saw a tall and straight man downstairs from the company, wearing a suit with exquisite tailoring and an elegant appearance. Compared to Lin Xian, he was much more simple, dressed in casual clothes. This person is the chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited, Yi Tiancheng. Unexpectedly, Chairman Yi was waiting for him downstairs at the company early. Sorry, Chairman Yi, I kept you waiting. Lin Xian walked up, smiling. You are? I'm Lin Xian, we just spoke on the phone. Yi Tiancheng couldn't believe it. This young man dressed casually, who looked like he had just graduated, was actually able to acquire Jinwan Technology Company, Limited at a high price. I'm really sorry, Mr. Lin, you're young and promising. I never imagined the new chairman would be so young. Yi Tiancheng took the initiative to extend his hand and shake Lin Xian's hand. This young man must have a strong family background behind him, and Yi Tiancheng dared not be the least bit negligent. Mr. Lin, please follow me, I'll show you around the company. Yi Tiancheng personally led Lin Xian on a tour of the various departments of the company. First came the R&D department, where a group of top scientific and technological talents were gathered, buried in research on various cutting-edge technologies, and didn't even look up at them. My technology research and development team is the most outstanding and exceptional people in the entire company. Suddenly, Lin Xian noticed a familiar figure. Wasn't this his roommate Zhong Zisheng? At the moment, he was so engrossed in his research that he hadn't noticed. So this is the company he was talking about, Golden Bay Technology Company, Limited. Lin Xian gave a smile. Then they went to the marketing department. As he watched the employees work busily and orderly, Yi Tiancheng continued to introduce, our marketing team is very professional and efficient, able to quickly capture market dynamics and make accurate decisions. They then visited the finance department, the administration department and other important functional departments in turn. Everywhere they went, Yi Tiancheng gave a detailed introduction of the department's main responsibilities and operations, giving Lin Xian a clearer understanding of the company's overall structure. Finally, the two arrived at the chairman's office, where Yi Tiancheng handed Lin Xian a document. Mr. Lin, I'm very glad that you were able to acquire this company. Sign your name, and you'll be the new chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited. In the end, Lin Xian successfully completed the company's handover procedures. Chapter 33, Why don't we sell the company again? Lin Xian looked at the chairman's office in front of him. The spacious and bright office space and a series of luxurious furnishings showed the high-end image of the company. He never expected that overnight he had become the new chairman of Golden Bay Technology Company, Limited. Lin Xian sat in the large black leather chair, turned it, and fell into deep thought. Suddenly, a slight knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. Lin Dong, may I come in now? Come in. A light footstep was heard, and a young woman resembling a secretary came towards him with a smile. She was dressed in professional attire, with a graceful figure, a light pace, and a faint smile on her face. Hello, Chairman Lin, I am your secretary, Zhou Siyue. Zhou Siyue was very surprised when she walked in. She didn't expect the new chairman to be so young and especially handsome. Zhou Siyue also graduated from Jinghai University a year earlier than Lin Xian, so in theory she was Lin Xian's senior. Hello, Secretary Zhou, I'm new here, so I'll need to ask you for advice in the future. Lin Xian smiled. Not at all, Chairman Lin, just tell me what you need. Zhou Siyue didn't expect Lin Xian to be so humble. Okay, then, could you show me the list of all the company's staff, so I can get a brief overview? Sure, Chairman Lin, just a moment. After saying this, Zhou Siyue first made Lin Xian some tea before going back to her desk to organize the information. Lin Xian sipped his tea while pondering how to manage the company. His wife was also away, which was a real headache. After a while, Zhou Siyue put the company personnel list in front of Lin Xian. Lin Dong, these are the names of all the current company personnel. Please take a look. Okay, thanks. You go ahead, I'll take a look myself. Lin Xian said to Zhou Siyue while looking at the personnel list in his hands. Okay. Zhou Siyue exited the room and gently closed the door. Lin Xian first looked at Zhou Siyue's personnel file. It turned out that she also graduated from Jinghai University, just a year earlier than him. So in the future, after work, he still needs to call her senior sister. Lin Xian then continued to check. Jinwan Technology Company, Limited has a general manager who is responsible for the company's daily operations and management, coordinating the work of various departments. There are also several department managers who are responsible for the daily management of the department and completing the work assigned by the higher-level leaders. And Lin Xian, as the chairman of this company, assumes an important leadership and decision-making role. This is a lot of pressure. In that case, how can Lin Xian spend every day with his wife and children and happily be a father? Should he sell the company again? Just as Lin Xian frowned, there was another light knock on the door accompanied by some panting. Come in. A middle-aged man who looked mature and steady hurriedly walked up, and it was the general manager of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited, Lu Wendy. Sorry, Chairman Lin, I just went to see an important client, so I didn't have time to catch up with you taking office. Lu Wendy was also very shocked. The chairman in front of him did not look like a chairman at all, but rather a fresh university graduate. If Yi Tianchang had not sent a message confirming the change of chairman, he would have thought that someone was playing a joke on him. It's okay, Secretary Zhou, please make Manager Lu a cup of tea. After saying this, Zhou Siyue placed a cup of tea in front of Lu Wendy. Manager Lu, I have just taken over the company and there are many things I need to ask you for advice. Lin Xuanduan took a sip of tea. Lu Wendy also quickly lifted it up and took a sip, saying, Not at all, I'll do whatever Lin Dong arranges. Lin Xian then asked about various things about the company, including the company's main business direction, personnel structure, salary and benefits, and future plans. Lu Wendy was able to answer fluently and also expressed his own opinions, which showed that he was very knowledgeable about various matters of the company. Lin Xian was very satisfied with the current general manager of the company, Lu Wendy, and decided to give it a try for a while. Okay, I'll go around to see each department later. General Manager Lu, you go ahead. Lin Xian nodded in satisfaction. Director Lin, let me show you around and give you a detailed introduction. Lu Wendy said. No, I just want to see what the company really looks like. Lin Xian stood up and offered his hand to shake with Lu Wendy. General Manager Lu, let's work together to make the company bigger and stronger. Okay, Director Lin, I will do my best. Lu Wendy said firmly. Then Lu Wendy returned to his office as general manager to get back to work, while Lin Xian continued to look at the company's personnel list. He found it too long and simply looked at the information of the middle-level leaders and above, and ignored the rest. Lin Xian walked out of the chairman's office. The offices of the company's leadership were on the 6th floor, so Lin Xian took the elevator to the 2nd floor of the finance department office downstairs. After walking around the finance department, he saw that everyone in the finance department office was working hard, although there were a few individuals who were goofing off and checking their phones. Lin Xian didn't think anything of it. It was fine to relax a bit by playing with your phone when you were tired at work, as long as you didn't neglect the work at hand. The people in the finance department also saw a strange, handsome young man walking back and forth in their office and thought he was a new intern. Excuse me, could you please give this information to Manager Lu when you have a moment? The manager of the finance department told me to do so. I'm really busy, so thank you. A slightly older woman handed Lin Xian a piece of information, obviously treating him as a new intern. Okay. Lin Xian gave a slight smile. Now only General Manager Lu Wendy and Secretary Zhou Siyu knew Lin Xian's identity in the company, so they also agreed to help with this small favor. Lin Xian then took the elevator to the third floor of the company to the administrative department office. The administrative department staff were also working diligently, in a harmonious and orderly manner, and the entire department was full of positive energy. Lin Xian nodded again with satisfaction, then left with a smile, continuing to take the elevator to the fourth floor marketing department, which was also full of energy and a passionate atmosphere. Finally, Lin Xian arrived at the fifth floor R&D department. As soon as the elevator opened, he encountered a familiar figure. Yi Zixuan. Chapter 34, What If I Don't? Lin Xian didn't want to have anything to do with Yi Zixuan, but he was slightly surprised to see her. How did they end up in the same company? Now, by a strange twist of fate, she had become his subordinate. If his wife knew about this, she would run away from home, wouldn't she? No. Yi Zixuan was also taken aback when she saw Lin Xian. Why had he come in? Did he still have feelings for her? Who had found out that she was working here and followed her here? Lin Xian walked past Yi Zixuan expressionless. Hey, Lin Xian, what do you mean? Lin Xian turned his head and looked at Yi Zixuan like he was looking at a fool. It's been how many years? Why haven't you given up yet? I already told you I have a boyfriend. Why are you still following me around? Or do you want to work in the R&D department of Jinwan Technology? To be honest with you, my boyfriend is the manager of the R&D department. If you beg me now, I might be able to put in a good word for you later. Yi Zixuan saw that Lin Xian was still looking down on her, and wanted Lin Xian to bow to her. Do you also work in the R&D department? Lin Xian still had an expressionless face. Yes, Yi Zixuan said proudly with her arms wrapped around her chest. I remember that you can code. Lin Xian smiled and already guessed something. Yi Zixuan studied finance, but because her boyfriend is the leader of the R&D department, she was able to get into the R&D department and slack off. I won't, but my boyfriend is the leader, so I can do whatever I want in the R&D department. In other words, whether you can enter the company's R&D department is also up to me to decide. Yi Zixuan said with a smug look on her face. You're still the same as before, vain. Lin Xian gave her signature smile, then turned around and left, walking into the R&D department office. What are you pretending? You're just arrogant. Yi Zixuan was very angry, so she picked up her phone and called her boyfriend. Honey, a newcomer in the R&D department just bullied me. Yi Zixuan pretended to have a hint of a sob in her voice. Damn it, how dare someone bully my girlfriend? How dare the newcomer be so arrogant? Zixuan, don't be angry, I'll come back and fix him. Zhang Haoran, who was still outside the company at this time, was very angry and drove back without stopping. Lin Xian arrived at the R&D department office and could clearly feel the difference from other departments. The members of the R&D department were listless, with huge dark circles under their eyes, exhausted, and the entire department was filled with a tense and oppressive atmosphere. Even Zhong Zisheng, who was full of energy at school, looked shaky. It was obvious that he had stayed up late working overtime. Lin Xian felt inexplicably distressed. After all, these were his employees. Lin Xian quietly came up behind Zhong Zisheng, patted him on the shoulder, and called out, Zisheng. Holy shit! Zhong Zisheng shuddered, almost jumped out of his skin in fright, and when he looked back, he saw that it was his college roommate Lin Xian. At that moment, Lin Xian was smiling at him. Xian Go? Why are you here? I came to see you. Zhong Zisheng was at a loss for words. Come to see me? Have you also joined the R&D department of Jinwan Technology? Lin Xian smiled and didn't say a word. Zhong Zisheng suddenly got up and dragged Lin Xian to the adjacent restroom to find a place where no one was. Xian, you'd better get out of here. This is no place for humans, Zhong Zisheng whispered. What's going on? Lin Xian asked. The company as a whole is quite good, the other departments are comfortable, and the work atmosphere is harmonious. It's just that the R&D department is the most disgusting. The leader of this department is downright insane. He doesn't know any technology himself, but he makes us work overtime every day, and he even withholds our overtime pay. Zhong Zisheng continued to vent. Is it that serious? Lin Xian didn't expect Yi Zixuan's boyfriend to treat employees like this. It's not even true. You believe me, run away quickly. Zhong Zisheng urged Lin Xian. Why don't you leave? Lin Xian asked. I just started working here not long ago, and if I leave right away, it will be very bad for me to continue looking for a job, so I decided to endure it for 3 months and see. Zhong Zixing glanced at his phone and hurriedly continued. At this hour, that stupid leader is going to be back. I'll go back to my workstation first. Xian, you hurry up and leave, don't look back. After saying this, Zhong Zixing ran back to his workstation and continued working. Thinking about his good friend being exploited like this, Lin Xian sighed. It seems that the first day on the job is going to be spent fixing up the RD department. Lin Xian was about to walk out of the RD department office when he was stopped by a man with glasses, a pot belly and slightly balding hair. This person was the RD manager Zhang Haoren, who had hurried back. Are you the new guy? Lin Xian raised an eyebrow, looking unconcerned. That's right. Zhang Haoren's hair was on fire with anger. He had never seen a newcomer so arrogant on their first day. You just bullied Yi Zixuan from our department? Scum like you should go back where you came from. Lin Xian remained indifferent. Manager Zhang has a big mouth, but what if I don't? After saying that, Lin Xian picked up the phone and called Lu Wendell. President Lu, please come to the RD office. Zhang Haoren heard Lin Xian call him President Lu and once again took a close look at Lin Xian in front of him. No matter how he looked at him, he didn't seem like someone who knew President Lu. He looked like just an ordinary kid from a normal family. Don't pretend, what virtue? You're still President Lu? Get out of here, or I'll call security. Zhang Haoren continued to humiliate Lin Xian, but Lin Xian still gave a faint smile, completely unconcerned, as if he had hit cotton with a heavy blow. Zhang Haoren was so angry that he picked up his phone and shouted. Security, come up to the 5th floor RD department quickly. There is someone causing trouble and refusing to leave. Someone please go and get him out of here. After saying this, he glared viciously at Lin Xian. Little brat, just wait until you get beaten out of here. Okay, I'll wait. Lin Xian found a seat and sat back in his chair, leisurely. The employees in the RD department were all talking about it. Who is this guy, so bold? It seems like he is new here, admirable courage. This is the first time I've seen someone so disrespectful to Zhang Haoren. Ha. Only Zhong Zixing was still worried. He walked over to Lin Xian and whispered. Xian, you'd better leave quickly, or the security guard will really throw you out. Lin Xian glanced over and smiled, it's fine. Zhang Haoren was even more angry when he saw Zhong Zixing whispering to Lin Xian. Zhong Zixing, do you know him? If you don't work properly, you'll be fined 1 month's salary. He's my roommate, what's wrong with me talking to him? Zhang Haoren could no longer tolerate such a leader. It seems you are of the same type, that's even better, get the hell out of here together. Zhang Haoren heard that Lin Xian was Zhong Zixing's college roommate, and was even more certain that this person would not have any other identity. Just go, who cares about you, a dog leader who can't do anything. Lin Xian, let's go. After saying that, Zhong Zixing wanted to pull Lin Xian away with him. Suddenly, President Lu hurriedly came to the RD department office. President Lu, you've come at the right time. These two hadn't finished speaking when Lu Wentai hurried over to Lin Xian and respectfully said, Lin Dong, I'm sorry I'm late. What can I do for you? Lin Xian stood up unhurriedly and handed Lu Wentai a document. This is some information the finance department prepared for you. I was just passing by, so I'll hand it to you. This is no trouble at all. Lin Xian said nonchalantly. Lu Wentai hurriedly took the document. Also, could you please inform everyone that there will be a company-wide meeting in the large conference room on the 7th floor in 1 hour? I have something important to announce. After saying this, Lin Xian left the RD department office with his head held high. Chapter 35 I have other things to do. Zixing, you come with me. Lin Xian glanced back at Zhong Zixing and then glanced at Zhang Haoren, who was stunned, with a disdainful look. He's coming. Zhong Zixing had not yet fully recovered from the shock and was stunned for a while before he responded. The two then took the elevator together to the 6th floor, the chairman's office. Zhang Haoren's face was pale, beads of sweat appeared on his forehead, and his eyes were full of disbelief. President Lu, is he really the chairman? Where is President Yi? Lu Wendi's eyes became heavy. He could clearly feel that Chairman Lin was very angry right now, and at the same time, he said to Zhang Haoren without changing his expression. Manager Zhang, don't think that you can act like a bully just because you have President Yi on your side. Now that President Yi has left, you'd better watch yourself. Lu Wendy then left the RD department office as well, leaving Zhang Haoran alone. Lin Xian and Zhong Zixing returned to the chairman's office. Xian, what just happened? Are you really the new chairman? Zhong Zixing couldn't help but ask. Yes, I just bought it yesterday and came to take over the company today. I didn't expect to encounter this situation. Lin Xian poured Zhong Zixing a cup of tea. They were very casual with each other as brothers, so Lin Xian didn't put on airs as a leader. Xian, you've hidden yourself well. Zhong Zixing said with a smile. Keep a low profile. Zixing, don't worry, I'll deal with these black sheep properly later. Lin Xian sipped his tea slowly, looking every bit the old cadre. Xian, how are you going to deal with them? Zixing was curious, his eyes full of adoration. He had longed to see Zhang Haoran get a lesson. You'll see later. Lin Xian gave his trademark smile. Zixing knew from that smile that Zhang Haoran was in for a bad time. There was a light knock on the door. Lin Dong, hello, may I come in? Please come in. It was General Manager Lu Wendy who walked in. Lin Dong, the meeting room is ready. Zixing, you can go back first, I need to discuss something with General Manager Lu. Lin Xian said to Zhong Zixing. After Zhong Zixing left the chairman's office, Lin Xian poured a cup of tea for Lu Wendy. Lin Dong, I'll do it. Lu Wendy was a little taken aback. President Lu, there's no need to be so nervous. You are still my senior, so it's only right that I pour you a cup of tea. Lin Xian gave a wry smile. However, I have some questions. How did someone like Zhang Haoran, who doesn't understand the needs of his subordinates and doesn't know anything about research and development, become the manager of the RD department? Lin Xian suddenly asked. He was promoted by the previous chairman. I actually didn't agree with it, but there was nothing I could do about it. Lu Wendy nearly choked on his words and explained. What do you think of Zhong Zixing? Lin Xian smiled and continued. I personally participated in the interview and recruited this young man. He has excellent skills and is diligent and capable. With proper training, he can be a leader in the future. Lu Wendy still had a good impression of Zhong Zixing. Okay, I understand. It's about time. Let's go to the 7th floor for the meeting. Lin Xian nodded with satisfaction. Lin Xian and Lu Wendy went to the large conference room on the 7th floor and sat on the podium at the front. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to take up a little of your valuable time. Due to special circumstances, Chairman Yi Tianchang has stepped down, and Lin Xian will be the new chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited from today onwards. A big welcome to everyone. The 200-odd employees in the audience applauded. A leader who doesn't pick bad times to hold meetings is a good leader. Only 2 people were still in a state of shock, Zhang Haoran, the RD manager, and Yi Zixuan. Their expressions were even more hideous than crying. Good morning, colleagues. I am very honored to be the chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited. I am new here. If I do anything wrong, please point it out in time. I am always under your supervision. I believe that as long as we are united and work hard, everyone's income will reach a new level. As the leader of the company, I still have to set an example. In addition, I have something to announce. Lin Xian gave Zhang Haoran and Yi Zixuan a smile. This morning, I inspected the various departments and found that Zhang Haoran, the manager of the RD department, was taking advantage of his position to oppress the employees. He even recruited his girlfriend to come in and eat up the work of others for free. For someone like this, I will reassign them. Nonsense. What evidence do you have? Zhang Haoran knew that Lin Xian would not let him go, so he simply made things clear. You want evidence? I can get you without evidence. But since you want it so badly, I might as well show it to you. Lin Xian took out his phone and said a few words to the secretary next to him. Then the entire conference room rang with the previous conversation between Lin Xian and Yi Zixuan, as well as the confrontation between the RD department and Zhang Haoran. My boyfriend is the manager of the RD department. If you beg me now, I might be able to put in a good word for you later. I won't, but my boyfriend is the leader, and I can do whatever I want in the RD department. Losers like you, go back where you came from. Yes, Lin Xian had been recording from the beginning. Now all the employees of the company know, and Zhang Haoran and Yi Zixuan reveal extremely ugly expressions. That's just how I am. If you're capable, you can fire me. Zhang Haoran suddenly became enraged. Lin Xian gave a slight smile. You're dreaming. Why would I fire you? I have other plans for your talents. It so happens that our company is in need of a security guard and a janitor, and you two are just perfect. Lin Xian did not look down on the occupations of security guard and janitor, but wanted to take this opportunity to force the two to resign voluntarily. If the company directly fires them, it will have to pay a compensation. Of course, if it is a normal personnel optimization in the company, the compensation should still be paid. Lin Xian promised that he would not pay a penny less, but what these two people have done does not deserve this money. As for the new candidate for the RD manager, Mr. Liu, do you have any recommendations? Lin Xian turned to Liu Wendell and asked. I think Zhong Zixing is very good. He has top-notch technology and is also diligent and hardworking. Liu Wendell responded. Lin Xian nodded again in satisfaction. Then it's decided. With immediate effect, Zhong Zixing will be the RD manager. Okay, everyone, hard work, meeting adjourned. Lin Xian and Liu Wendy left first, and everyone else also left the table, while also discussing. This new chairman is so young? And he's very handsome. He also has a lot of drive, and as soon as he came in, he got rid of the cancer in the company. Yes, this Zhang Haorun has been acting condescending all day, and I've long been unhappy with him. I just asked the chairman to pass on some information for me. And in the end, only Zhang Haorun and Yi Zixuan were left standing there dumbfounded. Chapter 36, Congratulations, you're pregnant with twins. Lin Xian returned to the chairman's office once again, ready to pack up and go home to cook for his wife. Knock, knock, a light knock sounded once again. Come in. Xian, did you really make me manager of the RD department? Zhong Zixing walked into the office and asked incredulously. Is there a problem? Lin Xian had full confidence in Zhong Zixing's technical abilities, and since Jinwan Technology Company, Limited was technology-oriented, he felt at ease letting his good friend take charge of a key department. I'm worried I won't do a good job. Zhong Zixing was a little worried. I trust you, so go ahead and do your best. I'll back you up. And, what's this brother Xian stuff? I've told you a million times, use your title at work. Lin Xian imitated the tone of a certain TV drama and joked. Okay, Lin Zhu. Zhong Zixing was amused. Okay, I'll go back first if there's nothing else. Lin Xian missed his wife. Lin Zhou, aren't you going to eat in the canteen together? Zhong Zixing put his hand on Lin Xian's shoulder, just like in college. No, I'm going home to cook for my wife. Lin Xian refused. Shit, we're in Versailles again, so our dormitory is free to hang out together. Okay. Zhong Zixing didn't know that Zhou Quan was also working for Lin Xian. Lin Xian drove out of the company gate in his Maybach and went to the market to buy some food before returning home. I'm home. A petite figure darted into Lin Xian's arms. Welcome home. Li Mengyao looked up at Lin Xian with a smile. Be careful. Lin Xian lifted Li Mengyao's chin and gave her a gentle kiss on her delicate lips. Have you had breakfast? Yes. What time did you eat? You're just like my mother. Lin Xian gently scratches Li Mengyao's little nose with his hand. My husband needs to keep a close eye on you too. I'll go cook. Got it. Li Mengyao obediently returns to the sofa to continue watching the drama. For today's lunch, Lin Xian tries the exclusive fish recipe given by the system. Wow, honey, your cooking has improved again. Li Mengyao exclaims in admiration. Of course it tastes better with Lin Xian's 5-star cooking and secret spices. Then eat more. Lin Xian continued to serve Li Mengyao. If I eat more, I'll get fat. Li Mengyao pursed her lips and gently pushed the meat in her bowl back. When you're pregnant, you have to eat more. Besides, you're not fat at all. Lin Xian continued to serve Li Mengyao, who happily continued to eat. Honey, let's go get our marriage certificate on July 7th. Li Mengyao's face flushed slightly. I never thought that we would get married and apply for a marriage license just after graduating. After having a good lunch, the two of them went back to their room and took a nap. In the afternoon, after waking up, Lin Xian suddenly remembered that Li Mengyao had been pregnant for more than 3 months and needed to go to the hospital for another pregnancy test. Looking at the time, it was a little after 3 o'clock. Wake up, honey. Lin Xian gently shook her. What? Don't disturb me while I'm sleeping. Li Mengyao rubbed her beautiful eyes with her small hands and muttered. Honey, we need to go for a pregnancy checkup. Lin Xian gently lifted Li Mengyao up with both hands. Oh, Li Mengyao's body went limp again. There was no way around it, her lazy wife could only be spoiled. Half an hour passed. Honey, let's go. Li Mengyao dressed up a little and gave Lin Xian a small smile. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and went to the parking lot. After sitting down, they started the car and headed to Jinghai People's Hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, Lin Xian carefully helped Li Mengyao out of the car. Once they entered the hospital lobby, Lin Xian busied himself with registration and payment, while Li Mengyao sat quietly waiting nearby. Li Mengyao was already 13 weeks pregnant at this point, and this prenatal checkup was mainly to check whether the embryo development was healthy, whether the mother was healthy, and whether the embryo had any birth defects. When it was Li Mengyao's turn to be examined, Lin Xian nervously accompanied her. All she could see was an amiable middle-aged female doctor carefully examining the patient, and Lin Xian's gaze never left Li Mengyao. How many weeks pregnant are you? About 13 weeks, Li Mengyao whispered. The female doctor felt in her heart, you're having a baby at such a young age, and you're still beautiful. The examination was soon over. Everything about the fetus is normal, and both little ones are very well behaved. 2. Li Mengyao's eyes widened instantly. Yes, according to the ultrasound, there are definitely 2 embryos. Congratulations, you are pregnant with twins. Before Lin Xian brought Li Mengyao for a medical examination, no ultrasound examination was done, so he did not know that she was pregnant with twins. But continue to maintain a balanced diet, exercise appropriately, and get plenty of rest. The female doctor smiled and reminded her. Okay, thank you, doctor. Lin Xian smiled and thanked her while taking Li Mengyao's hand and leaving. At this moment, Li Mengyao thought about the fact that she was pregnant with twins, and the babies were growing healthily every day. She smiled happily. In fact, conjoined twins are a type of twins, and they are dizygotic twins. However, because domestic laws prohibit the identification of the sex of the fetus for non-medical purposes, many people who are pregnant with twins will not know if they are conjoined twins until they are born. When they arrived at the hospital parking lot, Lin Xian helped Li Mengyao into the car, and then drove the Maybach back to Jinwan Mansion. My husband, wait a minute, I'm going to get a delivery. Li Mengyao, who was sitting in the passenger seat, suddenly shouted. Send me the pickup code, I'll get it. Lin Xian parked the car on the side, unbuckled his seatbelt and prepared to get the delivery. Li Mengyao's elegant eyes flickered slightly, and she reached out her small hand to hug Lin Xian and kissed him on the lips. You've worked hard, my dear. That's it? Li Mengyao only gave a light touch, and Lin Xian didn't feel much. What more do you want? Lin Xian lifted his hand and placed it on her forehead, pulling her close and continuing to seal those seductive lips with a kiss. After a while, Lin Xian let go of Li Mengyao. Hurry up! A blush spread across Li Mengyao's delicate face, and she glared at him in anger. Lin Xian then got out of the car contentedly to fetch the delivery. Soon, Lin Xian returned to the car with 2 deliveries. Wife, what did you buy? I'm not telling you. When the 2 returned home, Li Mengyao couldn't wait to open the delivery box. Lin Xian walked over and saw that it was 2 sets of matching clothes. What do you think, do they look good? Li Mengyao picked up the clothes and compared them to her body, smiling slightly. Wife, go change into them and take a look. Li Mengyao picked up the clothes and went back to her room. Lin Xian picked up his clothes and looked at them. He didn't think he needed to try them on, as they would definitely fit. Boys are so casual, not to mention that he has such a great body. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for accompanying the baby for another pregnancy checkup. A reward of 1 million yuan has been awarded, and a 5x critical strike has been triggered, for a total reward of 5 million yuan, which has been transferred to your bank card through regular channels, so please check. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for triggering the lottery mechanism, and you have been awarded 1 chance to draw. The current prize pool includes 1. A 3x cash bonus card. 2. Thank you for your patronage. Would the host like to draw? Draw. Ding dong, congratulations to the host on winning a 3x cash bonus card, which has been successfully used on your behalf. Please check. Chapter 37 The Day We Got Our License. Lin Xian heard the system's voice in his head again. What does this 3x cash bonus card mean? Lin Xian was a little confused. The meaning of the cash 3x critical strike card is that the existing amount of the host is multiplied by 3. Then can I keep it for now? No, it takes effect immediately after being drawn. Lin Xian wanted to save up more cash and use it all together, so that he could exchange for more cash. Jinwan Technology Company, Limited still had 50 million yuan in the account. If he took it out and used it 3x, it would be 150 million yuan. Alas, it's a pity. Lin Xian opened his phone and saw that his bank card already had more than 20 million yuan, instantly becoming a multi-millionaire. Just as Lin Xian was feeling smug, Li Mengyao got dressed and walked out. "Honey, don't you think I look great?" Li Mengyao was wearing a snow-white shirt with an elegant gray skirt. What was even more eye-catching was the cute bear pattern on her shirt. She looked fresh, elegant, playful, and cute. She walked lightly up to Lin Xian, looking like a fairy come down to earth. Her long, straight legs swayed slightly, and then she spun around as lightly as a dancing butterfly. Her skirt fluttered in the wind, exuding a charming charm. Lin Xian's eyes were fixed on Li Mengyao, and he gulped. Li Mengyao felt something was wrong, and just wanted to escape, but Lin Xian took the lead and reached out to gently pull her in. "My wife is really beautiful." Lin Xian left a kiss on those soft pink lips and smiled. "Why don't you change?" Li Mengyao gently rested her small hands on Lin Xian's firm chest, and her face turned slightly red. "I'll change now." Lin Xian let go of Li Mengyao and then started taking off his clothes. "Ah! Why are you taking off your clothes directly?" Li Mengyao covered her eyes with her petite hands and pretended to be angry. "How can I change if I don't take off my clothes?" Lin Xian laughed heartily. "Then go back to your room and change." Li Mengyao continued to cover her eyes, but secretly left a gap between her fingers, and her fair cheeks instantly turned red. "Honey, you've seen it before, why be so shy?" Lin Xian continued to tease. Then a sofa pillow was thrown at him, soft and lacking any killing power. "I'm done changing." "Guys, change quickly, just get dressed." Lin Xian was wearing a short-sleeved shirt as white as snow, matched with a pair of slender black trousers, also embellished with a cute bear pattern. His tall figure of 180 centimeters was even more eye-catching. His fair skin glowed faintly in the light, his dark, shiny hair was slightly curled, his deep, penetrating gaze was framed by his arched eyebrows and sharp eyes, and his lips were slightly upturned beneath his high, straight nose. He was smiling as he looked at Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian blankly. Her husband was simply a male model. And she was dumbstruck? "You're the one who's dumbstruck." Li Mengyao snapped, coming back to her senses. The two then went in front of the mirror. Li Mengyao fixed Lin Xian's collar, then took his hand and stood in front of the mirror, looking at him carefully. While they were sleeping that night, Lin Xian suddenly asked, "Why did you suddenly buy clothes? And there's a cartoon pattern on your chest, making me look childish. It's very cute, and we'll wear it when we get our marriage certificate." No arguing. Li Mengyao held up her index finger and lightly tapped Lin Xian's lips. "Whatever my wife says goes." Lin Xian smiled as he took a gentle bite. Li Mengyao gave him a disgusted look before falling asleep in his arms. A few days later, it finally came to July 7th. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Li Mengyao, who was still asleep, felt something squirming on her face, as if something was kissing her face. And then she stretched out her jade hand and gave it a gentle pat, saying in a soft voice, "Stop it. Wife, have you forgotten what today is?" Lin Xian continued to breathe in Li Mengyao's ear. "Who cares what day it is?" Li Mengyao was still dazed and didn't want to open her eyes. "Today is July 7th, the day we got our marriage certificate." Li Mengyao opened her eyes wide in confusion and blinked. "What time is it?" "It's 9 o'clock. Why didn't you wake me up earlier?" "I did wake you up, but you were fast asleep." Lin Xian gave an expression of speechless. Li Mengyao quickly got up and ran to the bathroom to wash up. Half an hour later, the two changed into the couple's clothes they had bought the day before, walked out of the house, went to the parking lot, and Lin Xian started the Maybach and drove straight to the Jinghai Civil Affairs Bureau. Soon, the two arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and walked to the hall. By this time, the marriage registration office was already full of people, all of whom were getting married today. The two waited quietly in the back. An hour later, Lin Xian walked out of the hall with Li Mengyao, holding her hand tightly. They looked carefully at the bright red marriage certificate, which had their names and photos printed on it. Both of their faces were filled with happy smiles. Li Mengyao also gazed at the marriage certificate, her eyes sparkling with tenderness. The corner of her mouth lifted slightly, revealing a sweet smile. "Wife, I've finally married you home," Lin Xian said tenderly, looking at her. You've been home for a long time. Li Mengyao gave Lin Xian a gentle squeeze on the cheek and smiled. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao's stunning looks attracted the envious glances of passers-by. Back in the Maybach, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao each shared their marriage certificate in their moments. Zhang Shulan, my son has made it. Lin Zhengwei, it looks good. Huang Shifeng, when will you bring it back to show your mother? Smiling face. Zhou Quan, congratulations. I knew I'd be abused by dogs today. Dog head face. Zhong Zixing, happy wedding, Shen. Shen Jingming, when are you having the banquet? Hurry up. Lu Yusen, congratulations, Yao Yao, my Yao Yao. Crying face. At this time, Lin Cece did not make any comments because her phone had been confiscated. Chapter 38, Your husband's money is your money. A phone suddenly rang. Hello, Mom. Lin Xian picked up the phone and answered. Son, have you picked up the license? Zhang Shulan's delighted laughter came over the phone. I just picked it up and am about to go back. Give me the phone to my daughter-in-law. Oh yeah, hurry up and add her to our loving family group chat. Still my son? You're changing people every other sentence. Lin Xian complained. Hurry up. Honey, it's my mom. Lin Xian helplessly handed the phone to Li Mengyao. Hello, Auntie? The nervous Li Mengyao forgot to change the addressee. Why are you still calling her Auntie? It's time to change the addressee, my good daughter-in-law. Zhang Shulan said with a smile. Li Mengyao was still a little uncomfortable. Hey! Lin Xian, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, could only see Li Mengyao's mouth slowly raise up the corners of her lips, and she would occasionally look up at him. Okay, Mom. Li Mengyao then gave a small smile and returned the phone to Lin Xian. Honey, what did Mom tell you? Lin Xian asked curiously. You want to know? Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian nodded. Mom told me that when we get married, I have to let my husband hand over the bank card. Oh. Mom is trying to trick her son. Honey, do you think that's right? Li Mengyao leaned forward with a smile. It was the same scene, the same distance, and the same lips. Lin Xian followed suit and grabbed Li Mengyao's little head, and kissed her again. After a while, Lin Xian let go contentedly, and an angry Li Mengyao gave Lin Xian a hard slap. Li Mengyao was of course joking, she didn't want Lin Xian's bank card, she just wanted to tease him a little, but she still suffered. However, just now on the phone, Zhang Shulan also taught her how to hold on to her husband's life, and one of the most important things was to make him hand over his bank card. At this moment, Li Mengyao's face twisted to one side and she ignored Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and silently started the car, driving out of the Jinghai Civil Affairs Bureau. After driving for a while, Li Mengyao finally realized that something was wrong. This was not the way home. Honey, aren't we going home? Li Mengyao turned her head and couldn't help but ask. Let's go somewhere first. Lin Xian smiled. Soon, a long, dark Maybach pulled into the parking lot of a bank in Jinghai City. What are we doing at the bank? Honey, don't you want my bank card? I'll transfer the money to you. Lin Xian smiled as he unbuckled his seatbelt and leaned over to help Li Mengyao unbuckle hers. I'm just joking, I don't want your bank card. Li Mengyao shook her head cutely. Your husband's money is your money, let's go. Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's little face. Then I'll keep it for you, just let me know if you need money. Li Mengyao whispered. The two then got out of the car and walked hand in hand to the lobby of the Wanha Bank in Jinghai City. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao walked up to the counter, where Lin Xian handed his bank card to the teller and told him to transfer all the money in the card to Li Mengyao. The bank teller was shocked when he swiped Lin Xian's card, as there was 20 million in it, and the owner was still so young. May I ask who this lady is to you? Because of the huge amount of money involved, the bank teller still had to ask carefully to prevent Lin Xian from being cheated. She is my wife. Lin Xian smiled. Is there any proof? I'm sorry, because the transfer amount is huge, we have to verify it. Lin Xian handed the bank teller the marriage certificate he had just received. After the bank teller operated for a while, he informed Lin Xian that the transfer had been successful. A few minutes later, a message came from Li Mengyao's phone, saying that the 20 million yuan had been transferred to her bank card. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Her husband, that's a lot. Lin Xian gave her a little squeeze on the cheek. Yes, now you control my lifeline, so you have to take good care of me. Li Mengyao gave Lin Xian a flirtatious glare. I'll keep it safe for you. Just as Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were about to walk out of the bank, a figure appeared before them without warning. It was a middle-aged man, his posture straight as a pine tree, dressed in smart and well-fitting clothes, and his every move revealed a sense of composure and confidence. Please stay, distinguished guests. I am Lu Yong, the branch manager of the Wanha Bank in Jinghai City. It is truly an honor to meet you here today. Hello, President Lu, may I ask what this is regarding? Lin Xian and Lu Yong shook hands politely. It's like this, just now our bank saw that the two of you have 20 million yuan in your bank cards, but it's a current account, so the interest rate is relatively low. I wonder if you are interested in learning about our bank's latest time deposit product. So it turns out that it's a salesperson or the branch manager himself who is receiving them. Yes, what exactly is it? Please follow me. Lu Yong then led the two men, smiling, into the luxurious and tranquil VLP room of Wanha Bank. As soon as they entered, they were immediately served some fragrant high-end coffee and delicious snacks. Lu Yong took out a brochure and handed it to Lin Xian. The two of you just deposited 20 million in demand deposits, which only earns a pitiful 0.5% interest. That's 100,000 yuan a year without doing anything, which is equivalent to the annual income of many people. But if the two of you deposit 20 million yuan for 1 year, we can raise the interest rate to 2.3%, which is 460,000 yuan a year, more than 4 times the interest rate for demand deposits. At the same time, our Wanha Bank will also give you 2 VIP black cards. Cardholders can enjoy high-end rights and privileges, spending discounts and other high-quality services. If you're not in a hurry to use it, you too should seriously consider whether to save it for 1 year. Lin Xian hesitated slightly. The 20 million the system gave him was indeed of no use to him at the moment, and saving it in the bank was the best option. But if he saved it all, it would be very cumbersome to withdraw it in case of an emergency. Honey, you can save 10 million in a fixed-term deposit, and the rest in a savings account. Li Mengyao seemed to see Lin Xian's worries and whispered. Lin Xian suddenly had a sudden realization, quickly kissed Li Mengyao's little face, and smiled. Wife is really smart. Li Mengyao glared at Lin Xian, her pretty face turning red. There are still people here. Then can we deposit 10 million in time deposits, and the remaining 10 million in a term deposit? Lin Xian asked. Of course there is no problem, please follow me. Lu Yong was beaming with joy, his monthly performance was secured. He then took the two of them to the VLP exclusive counter. 10 minutes later, the two men finally processed the 20 million. The VLP exclusive counter is really fast, and the ordinary counters have to wait at least an hour. Lu Yong slightly bowed, solemnly handed the 2 luxurious and noble VLP black cards to Lin Xian and Li Mengyao, and smiled. Congratulations on becoming VIPs of Wanha Bank. From now on, you will enjoy the highest level of treatment in the bank. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao took the black card, feeling its heavy weight and the exquisite lines on it. After saying goodbye to President Lu Yong, the two walked out of the Wanha Bank lobby and got into the Maybach. Wife, are you hungry? Hungry. Li Mengyao gave a happy smile. Then let's go home for dinner. Chapter 39 Xianmeng Restaurant. Lin Xian started the car and drove home. After the two returned to Jinwan Mansion, Lin Xian made a hearty lunch, and Li Mengyao was taking small bites of the rice. Lin Xian took out his phone and pulled Li Mengyao into the group chat of the loving family, and took a picture of his wife eating the rice, and sent it to the group chat. Zhang Shulan, my daughter-in-law is eating so well. Lin Zhengwei, it looks better than your mom's. Lin Cici is taking her final exam. Li Mengyao, who had just finished eating, picked up her phone and saw that her photo had been posted to the group chat. Lin Xian, you're spying on me again. Li Mengyao glared at him. When she was angry, she would call Lin Xian by his first name. Lin Xian had just put the dishes in the dishwasher when he heard his wife shouting at him. I think it looks quite good. Lin Xian sat down next to Li Mengyao and smiled. Li Mengyao was still angry and gave him a tight hug. Hello, parents, I'm Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao greeted the group. Okay, keep the money, and I wish you a happy marriage. Subsequently, Zhang Shulan initiated a transfer of 100,001 yuan. Li Mengyao hesitated after seeing it, not knowing whether to accept it or not. Although she and Lin Xian did not lack this amount of money, it was still a lot for an ordinary family. At the same time, this was also a token of their parents' goodwill. If they didn't accept it, it would be a bit disrespectful to their elders. Honey, just take it. When we go back to Yunhai to see them, we'll buy them some gifts. Lin Xian saw his wife's concerns and smiled. Okay, Li Mengyao nodded and accepted the money. Li Mengyao, thanks, Mom and Dad. Lin Xian, Mom, what about mine? Zhang Shulan, go play somewhere else. There's no doubt about the paternity. In the afternoon, Lin Xian, who had just woken up, received a message from Zhou Quan. Zhou Quan, Xian, the restaurant has been renovated. When are you free to come and have a look? Lin Xian froze for a moment. What a nuisance. It would be so nice to stay at home with his wife, but now he had to manage a restaurant as well. He then kissed Li Mengyao, who was still asleep, sent a message to let her know, and left the room. After washing his face to clear his head, Lin Xian picked up his phone and called Zhou Quan. Quan, where are you now? Now that everyone has graduated, no one lives in the dormitory anymore. Xian, I'm at the rental house. Send me your location, I'll come pick you up, and we'll go check out the restaurant together. Okay. 20 minutes later, Lin Xian arrived at Zhou Quan's rental house in a Maybach. Zhou Quan ran down the stairs without stopping, opened the car door, and got in. Xian, I'm here, happy wedding. With that, he took out a red envelope and handed it to Lin Xian. Thanks Quaner, let's go. Lin Xian accepted and started the car, arriving at Jinwan Plaza. After parking the car, Lin Xian and Zhou Quan went to the 5th floor of Jinwan Plaza, and were immediately captivated by the luxurious and resplendent scene before them. The entire restaurant used high-end materials and exquisite designs. The walls were covered with gorgeous wallpaper, and the floor was covered with polished marble. The ceiling was hung with dazzling crystal chandeliers, which emitted a soft and warm glow, illuminating the entire space. The dining tables and chairs were neatly arranged, and the tables were covered with white tablecloths, matched with exquisite tableware and flowers, creating an elegant and comfortable dining atmosphere. Lin Xian was slightly shocked. He didn't expect the decoration to be so luxurious. Hey, Xian, isn't this a nice decoration? Zhou Quan said proudly. Lin Xian walked into the dining room and looked around carefully. It's just like a 5-star restaurant. It's very good. Next, we'll start preparing for business. Lin Xian nodded with satisfaction. Xian, you're right, but haven't we forgotten something? Zhou Quan grinned. Forgotten what? Lin Xian asked in puzzlement. Money, Xian, I don't have any money. How can I recruit people without money? Zhou Quan complained angrily. Oh, I almost forgot about that. I've been really busy lately. Hey, send me your bank account number. Yes, I've been busy getting married lately. Just tell me if you want it or not. Yes, I'm sending you the bank account number. Zhou Quan hurriedly replied. Lin Xian then transferred 1 million yuan to Zhou Quan on his phone. I'll give you 1 million yuan as startup capital. If it's not enough, let me know. You'll be in charge of everything at the restaurant, and we'll split the profits 30/70ths. Great, you're a man of your word, Xian. You've given me 1 million yuan right away. Zhou Quan laughed happily. Don't flatter me. If you don't do a good job, I'll fire you. Lin Xian said jokingly. Yes, boss. By the way, shouldn't we name the restaurant yet? Zhou Quan asked. Let's call it Xian Meng Restaurant. The specialty will be fish dishes, but you can add some other cuisines. Lin Xian said, stroking his chin and thinking for a moment. It's not a bad name, combining the names of Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. You're the manager now, so don't let me down. Lin Xian patted Zhou Quan on the shoulder. He had full confidence in Zhou Quan. Although he was sometimes a bit silly, he was very capable when it came to work. I promised to get the job done. Zhou Quan even gave a salute. How old are you? Okay, Lin Xian withdrew the thought he had just had. After explaining the matters of the restaurant, Lin Xian sent Zhou Quan back to the rented room and went to Jinwan Technology Company, Limited again. Lin Xian walked into the company gate and was warmly greeted by the receptionist. Hello, Lin Dong. Hello. Lin Xian politely returned a smile. After that, Lin Xian greeted every employee he met warmly, and Lin Xian responded to each one. Is this what it feels like to be the company chairman? It's great. Lin Xian arrived at the chairman's office and saw 2 resignation letters and a red envelope on the table. Lin Xian first opened the red envelope, which contained several $100 bills and a small note. Lin position, happy wedding. Lin Xian smiled slightly, this kid. Then he picked up the 2 resignation letters, which were indeed from Zhang Haoran and Yi Zixuan. Lin Xian then waved his hand and immediately agreed. Seeing that there was nothing else, Lin Xian left the company and drove home. In fact, the main business of the company was in the hands of General Manager Lu Wend. The 2 resignation letters had just been given to the chairman himself to deal with for special reasons. "Honey, I'm home." Lin Xian changed his shoes and walked into the hall to hug Li Mengyao, who was trotting over. "Honey, why have you been going out a lot recently? Have you been doing something secretly?" Li Mengyao pouted cutely. Honey went to check on the restaurant's renovations. Lin Xian took out his phone and handed Li Mengyao the photos he took in the restaurant that afternoon. "Wow, this is so extravagant." Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes were wide open. "Husband, did you name the restaurant?" Li Mengyao asked. "I did." Lin Xian got up and prepared to go into the kitchen to cook. "What's the name?" Li Mengyao hugged Lin Xian and continued to ask. "What do you think of Xianmeng Restaurant?" Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's little face and smiled. Chapter 40, You're Such a Fool. Xianmeng Restaurant, this poetic name, seemed to be the crystallization of Lin Xian and Li Mengyao's love, representing Lin Xian's love for Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes, as clear as autumn water, looked at Lin Xian, and gradually, ripples of emotion spread across her face. Lin Xian saw tears welling up in Li Mengyao's eyes, and instantly became flustered. "What's wrong, honey? Did I hurt you just now?" "I'm sorry, it's my fault." Li Mengyao shook her head gently, threw herself into Lin Xian's arms, hugged him tightly, opened her red lips slightly, and said in a dreamlike voice, "Honey, why are you so good to me?" Lin Xian took a deep breath, gently lifted Li Mengyao's little head, and said with tender eyes, "Because you are the only one in my life, the one I love most in this world. You are my wife, the mother of our baby, and I am willing to use all my strength to protect and care for you, to keep you happy forever." Lin Xian's gaze was firm and burning, as if it were burning with an unquenchable flame. Li Mengyao stood on her tiptoes, put her arms around Lin Xian's neck, and gave him a kiss. "My husband is going to cook." Lin Xian smiled. Then he turned around and went to the kitchen to start cooking dinner. Li Mengyao nodded shyly. After dinner, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao watched a drama on the big screen in the living room. Li Mengyao leaned her long legs on Lin Xian's lap, snuggled in his arms, and was enjoying the drama. Lin Xian picked up the tablet and read the company daily report sent by General Manager Lu Wendy. When he is not at the office, he always finds time to read the company's daily report in the evening to see what important things the company has done today and how much profit it has made, rather than ignoring it completely. "What are you reading, honey?" Li Mengyao's little head leaned forward, and what she saw was a series of data reports. "I'm reading the company's daily operations report," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Company? What company?" Li Mengyao blinked innocently. "Jinwan Technology Company, Limited." "You went to work?" Li Mengyao thought to herself. Lin Xian has been taking care of herself for the past few months, so she hasn't looked for a job, and now it's normal for her to go to work. "Honey, you go to work and take care of yourself." Li Mengyao pursed her lips. "What are you thinking? Your husband has tens of millions of assets, so he can't just go to work." Lin Xian pinched Li Mengyao's pretty nose. "So what is this company of yours?" Li Mengyao asked in confusion. "This is my company. I am the chairman of Jinwan Technology Company, Limited, and you are the chairman's wife." Lin Xian smiled. Li Mengyao couldn't help but be slightly stunned, her face full of disbelief. "Then next time you can show me around." "Okay, silly. You're the silly one." After watching TV in the living room, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao went back to their room to rest together. The next morning, Lin Xian woke up naturally and got up to start making breakfast. While Lin Xian was still eating breakfast, the phone suddenly rang. When he picked it up, it was Zhou Quan. "Xian, have you had breakfast yet?" "Hey, I want to discuss something with you." "Go ahead while you eat." "It's about the chef for the restaurant. I already have someone in mind. They're my cousin and his wife. They run a fish restaurant in Jinghai City, but they're looking to change locations because the rent is too high. They happen to be good at fish dishes and have a good reputation in Jinghai City, so they can directly bring customers to Xianmeng Restaurant. Therefore, I want to invite them to be the chefs." Zhou Quan spoke in a rush. "Have they agreed to come to Xianmeng Restaurant as chefs?" Lin Xian asked. "Of course, Who wouldn't want to come to such a prosperous location with such luxurious decorations? Okay, you tell them to come to the restaurant later, I want to see for myself. The chef is the soul of a restaurant, so Lin Xian must personally oversee the selection. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Lin Xian put Li Mengyao's breakfast in the warming cabinet as usual, walked over to the room, gave her a kiss, and then left. Half an hour later, Lin Xian arrived on the 5th floor of Jinwan Plaza, at Xianmeng Restaurant. As soon as he walked in, he saw Zhou Quan and a young couple. Xian, you're here. Let me introduce you. This is my cousin Zhou Yong, and the other is my cousin-in-law Wang Li, Zhou Quan said. Hello, Boss Lin, I'm Zhou Yong, and this is my wife Wang Li. Lin Xian and Zhou Yong shook hands politely. Zhou Yong was a tall, slightly overweight man with an honest and simple appearance, while Wang Li was slightly petite but had a pretty face with a mature beauty. Both were in their early 30s, a few years older than Lin Xian. Hello, I'm Lin Xian, Zhou Quan's college roommate. I've heard Zhou Quan praise your cooking skills. Not at all. Zhou Yong smiled sheepishly. Then can you make me a steamed turbot to try? Lin Xian smiled. Zhou Yong knew full well that Lin Xian was testing his cooking skills, so he didn't hesitate to step into the kitchen's back area and start cooking. Lin Xian followed him, carefully observing every subtle movement and technique he used. He skillfully selected a fresh and plump turbot, quickly cleaned it and set it aside. Then, Zhou Yong lit the stove and skillfully adjusted the heat and time, causing the water in the steamer to gradually boil. Soon, the kitchen was filled with an attractive aroma, and a delicious steamed turbot was served. Lin Xian picked up a chopstick, picked up a piece of fish and stuffed it in his mouth. It was fresh and juicy, melting in the mouth, and the special delicious sauce was even more mouth-watering. As expected of a master chef, the food is delicious. I would be more than happy to welcome you to Xianmeng Restaurant. Lin Xian nodded in satisfaction. Thank you, Boss Lin. But I can take your cooking to the next level. What? Zhou Yong was still very confident in his own cooking skills. Could this person, who was several years younger than him, really be a master? Lin Xian finished speaking and returned to the kitchen, followed closely by everyone else. He skillfully selected a fresh and plump turbot with the same technique, prepared it quickly for later use, lit the stove, more precisely controlled the heat and time, and personally prepared the exclusive sauce. In a short while, the kitchen exuded an even more enticing aroma than before, directly appealing to everyone's taste buds. Chapter 41 Baby, remember to eat breakfast. A steamed turbot with a fragrant aroma and attractive color was served, with an exquisite arrangement that looked like a work of art. Everyone tried it. Everyone couldn't wait to pick up their chopsticks, pick up a piece of the tender fish and stuff it in their mouths. Before their teeth could exert any force to chew, the delicate and delicious flavor flowed through their mouths like a spring of water, instantly stimulating every taste bud. This. Zhou Yong was so surprised that he couldn't speak normally. Brother Lin, it's still you, it's so delicious. Zhou Quan couldn't stop eating. Wang Li was also quietly eating on the side, not saying much, but you could tell from her expression that she was amazed by the deliciousness. Soon, a large plate of turbot was swept away. Zhou Quan even licked the plate clean. Boss Lin, can I make you my master? Zhou Yong looked at Lin Xian with admiration. Cough cough, you don't need to become my apprentice, as long as you work as the head chef in my restaurant, I'll teach you for free. Lin Xian was more or less embarrassed to be asked to be the apprentice of someone who was much older than him. Really? That's great. Zhou Yong jumped up happily. Boss Lin, can I learn it too? Wang Li asked tenderly. Of course you can. What about me, Xian Gu? Zhou Quan shamelessly came forward. Go play somewhere else, manage the restaurant well. Lin Xian looked at Zhou Quan and Wang Li again, and suddenly said sternly. However, I have a condition. What condition? Zhou Yong asked hurriedly. Add a confidentiality agreement to your employment contract, and I will teach you all the recipes for exclusive fish dishes, which will definitely greatly improve your cooking skills, Lin Xian said with a slight smile. What confidentiality agreement? You must not disclose the exclusive fish dishes recipes to outsiders in any way, or you will be held accountable for 5 million yuan, Lin Xian said firmly, changing the subject. 5 million is no small sum for an ordinary family, and many people can't earn that in a lifetime of hard work. I promise you, I, Zhou Yong, am by no means such a treacherous villain, Zhou Yong said with a firm gaze. I also promise you, if my husband can do it, so can I, Wang Li said with a firm tone. Good, Zhou Quan, go prepare the labor contract, we'll sign it right away. Okay, Zhou Quan ran out happily to prepare the labor contract. While Zhou Quan went to prepare the labor contract, Lin Xian talked to the couple. Suddenly Lin Xian's phone rang. He picked up his phone and saw it was from his wife. Hello, baby. Li Mengyao paused slightly when she heard Lin Xian call her baby. Why the sudden change of taste today? Honey, where are you right now? I'm still at the restaurant. My roommates want to come over for dinner later, is that okay? Li Mengyao's roommates, Chen Manman and Yang Lin, have been pestering her to have them over for dinner, and Lu Yusin is egging them on. Li Mengyao has no choice but to call Lin Xian to ask for his opinion. Of course you can. I'll go back later and buy some more food, Lin Xian smiles. Okay. Baby, remember to eat breakfast, Lin Xian says with a smile. Li Mengyao hung up the phone shyly. What's wrong with her husband today? Li Mengyao patted her face lightly, picked up her phone, opened the group chat with her roommates, and typed, for rich girls, come over. Chen Man, hee, yo, I'm coming. Yang Lin, where's the address? How can we go without it? Li Mengyao shared an address. Chen Man? Yang Lin? Chen Man and Yang Lin obviously did not expect that Li Mengyao lived in Jinwanfu, the most luxurious area of Jinghai City. On the other hand, Zhou Quan finally arrived at the restaurant with 2 employment contracts. Xiangu, I'm ready, take a look. Lin Xian took a closer look at the 2 employment contracts and found that there was nothing wrong with them, so he signed his name and then handed them to Zhou Yong and Wang Li. If there is nothing wrong with them, just sign this employment contract. I have a question. Does Zhou Quan count as an outsider? Zhou Yong looked at his cousin with a smile. Yes, Lin Xian also looked at Zhou Quan with a smile and joked. Xian, you shouldn't be like that. We've been roommates for 4 years. Okay, I'm just teasing you. I've already put the restaurant in your hands. Don't I trust you enough? Lin Xian laughed out loud. Hey, Xian, I will definitely make the restaurant bigger and stronger, Zhou Quan said with a smirk. I'll leave the rest to you. If there's nothing else, I'll go home. After saying goodbye to the others, Lin Xian drove off in the Maybach to the supermarket to buy some groceries before going home. Back to Li Mengyao's side. Ding dong, the crisp doorbell rang. Li Mengyao put down what she was doing after hearing the doorbell, went to the front door, and confirmed through the screen of the smart lock that it was her roommates before opening the door with peace of mind. My Yao, happy wedding. Yang Lin walked up to her and gave her a hug, and handed her a gift. And this is for me, Yao, happy wedding. Chen Man followed suit and handed her a gift. Here, this is for me, Yao, happy wedding. Lu Yusin also smiled. Thank you. Li Mengyao beamed. Chen Man plopped down on the sofa, looking thoroughly contented. Yang Lin followed suit, while only Lu Yusin was helping Li Mengyao prepare drinks and fruit. Mengyao, you're so comfortable. Wow, you're practically a little rich girl. Chen Man exclaimed. Yes, such a big house with a view of the river, the life I've always dreamed of. Chen Lin exclaimed in agreement. Here, have some drinks and there's fruit here too. Li Mengyao placed a plate of fruit and a few drinks in front of them. Chen Man, Yang Lin and Lu Yusin sat on the sofa, while Li Mengyao lay on the lazyboy, all gossiping about recent events. You have no idea, Mengyao, how hard my internship is. I work overtime every day, you know? Chen Man complained. Who doesn't? I have to correct homework after work every night, which is really a headache. Yang Lin chimed in. Yao, why aren't you working? Chen Man asked. I'll find time to work in the future. Li Mengyao lowered her head and stammered an explanation. Yao, you're lying, huh? Be honest, you can't fool us good sisters. Yang Lin could tell at a glance. She is now a key protected person, so how could Lin Xian let Yao go to work? Lu Yusin spoke up. Lu Yusin felt that there was no longer any need to hide it from her sisters. After all, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao had already gotten married and had a certificate. What do you mean? A key protected person? Something's fishy. Chen Man stared at Li Mengyao with a smile. Actually, it's because I'm pregnant. Li Mengyao blushed and spoke in a low voice. Chapter 42, I want to hear the baby's voice. What? Yao, you're pregnant? Yang Lin's eyes widened in disbelief. Oh my god, when did this happen, so soon? Chen Man couldn't believe it either. It's been more than 3 months. Li Mengyao's delicate face flushed. Only Lu Yusin remained silent, she had known for a long time. Yang Lin, 3 months ago, that means before you graduated. Chen Manman, and she's pregnant without being married. Lu Yusin, aren't you surprised? I'm surprised, can't you tell? Lu Yusin put on a surprised expression on purpose. Yang Lin, oh, so you knew about it and didn't tell us. Chen Nanman, that's right, you're not really good friends anymore. Lin Lin, let's gang up on her. I'm warning you, don't come any closer, or I'll scream. Lu Yusin hugged a pillow and said in fear. Yang Lin and Chen Nanman surrounded Lu Yusin and started tickling her. Chen Manman, go ahead and scream, no one will hear you even if you scream your lungs out, ha. Yo-yo, help me, ha ha ha. Lu Yusin was so tickled that she was begging for mercy, tears of laughter in her eyes. Okay, stop it, I'm the one who told Shishi not to say anything. Li Mengyao quickly stopped them. Chen Manman, okay, since there's a pregnant woman pleading for you, I won't hold it against you. Yang Lin, right, Yayao, is Lin Xin good to you? Chen Manman, yes, is he good to you? Lin Xian is very good to me, I love him very much. Li Mengyao blushed as she said this. Is this still the pure and innocent school beauty of Jinghai University that we usually have in mind, who has always maintained a very aloof attitude towards boys? Yang Lin, you've got married and have a child, Yao Yao, you really are a winner in life. Hey, do you guys think that senior Deng Junyi should give up? Chen Manman suddenly thought of another senior at school who was obsessed with Li Mengyao and had been pursuing her. Yang Lin, yeah, I heard that he is preparing to return to China. Let him give up hope, Yao Yao already has a boyfriend. Lu Yusin doesn't have a good impression of Deng Junyi. I've rejected him many times, he shouldn't come looking for me again this time. Li Mengyao pursed her lips. Suddenly, she heard the sound of the front door unlocking. Honey, I'm home. Lin Xian walked in carrying a large bag. Chen Manman and the others only saw Li Mengyao quickly get up from the lazy chair, put on her shoes, and run over, throwing herself into Lin Xian's arms. Welcome home. Lin Xian always feels a warm breath when he comes home, and the source of this warmth is Li Mengyao's embrace, which makes him deeply appreciate the warmth and happiness of home. Lin Xian gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair and asked softly, Honey, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling unwell? Li Mengyao shook her head gently, I'm fine. Ahem. Li Mengyao looked back and saw Chen Manman and the others looking at the two of them with excitement on their faces. She then let go of Lin Xian, blushing like a tomato. Hello, I'm Lin Xian, Li Mengyao's husband. Hello, I'm Chen Manman. Chen Manman gave a bright smile. Chen Manman was tall and slender, with neat short hair, giving her a carefree and uninhibited feel. Hello, I'm Yang Lin. Yang Lin also gave a slight smile. Yang Lin was the complete opposite, slightly petite and delicate, with long, dark, beautiful hair that fell in a shawl, giving her a quiet and elegant feel. Lu Yusin, of course, needs no introduction. She looks like a domineering older sister. You guys continue chatting, I'll go cook in the kitchen. Lin Xian gave a small smile and then walked into the kitchen to start preparing lunch. The four of them returned to their original positions and continued their discussion. Yao Yao, your husband is really handsome. Oh my, how do you hold his life in your hands? Teach me. Li Mengyao could only blush. In a moment, Lin Xian brought out the last dish. It's time to eat. The others came over as soon as they smelled the aroma. It smells so good. Today's menu includes stir-fried lamb with spring onions, cumin-marinated spare ribs, soy sauce-marinated beef short ribs, spicy chicken, and a big plate of grilled fish. Wow, this is delicious. I've never tasted anything so good in my life. Chen Manman took a bite and her face beamed with happiness. Yes, the chefs in the big hotels can't cook as well. Yang Lin also sighed with emotion. Well, it really is delicious. Lu Yusin said in a fake, indifferent tone, so as not to be discovered again by her two good roommates that she had already come here before and was being besieged again. Soon, after Chen Manman and the others had eaten and drunk their fill, they were ready to go back. Chen Manman, Lin Xian, I'm leaving Yo-Yo in your care, please take good care of her. Yang Lin, yes, otherwise our sisters won't let you go. Okay, I will protect Mengyao as if she were my most precious person. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and said firmly. After Chen Manman and the others returned home, Lin Xian cleaned up the dishes and utensils. Because he had sweated a lot, he took a quick shower in the bathroom and then returned to the room. At this time, Li Mengyao was leaning against the bedside quietly reading a book. Lin Xian also climbed into bed and lay down next to Li Mengyao. Baby, what are you reading? You. Why did you suddenly call me baby? Li Mengyao's face flushed, and she didn't feel comfortable hearing it. Because you are my baby. Lin Xian smiled. Don't be shy. Li Mengyao's face instantly turned red, and she continued reading silently, as if she wanted to hide her embarrassment and shyness with a book. Lin Xian saw that his wife was ignoring her, but his gaze couldn't help but fall on Li Mengyao's soft belly. Slowly, he reached out his hand and quietly lifted up Li Mengyao's shirt. He gently placed his ear against her soft belly, and along with a burst of fragrance, a wonderful feeling welled up in his heart. Husband, what are you doing? Li Mengyao was startled by Lin Xian's sudden move and tried to stop him, but she was too late and her face turned even redder. Li Mengyao stretched out her small hand and tried hard to push him away, but he didn't budge. Seeing that she couldn't push him away, Li Mengyao began to rub Lin Xian's handsome face hard. Wife, I want to hear the baby's voice, said Lin Xian tenderly. Even though Li Mengyao was already 13 weeks pregnant and the fetus had developed to a certain stage, Lin Xian could not hear the baby move when he pressed his ear to her stomach. Li Mengyao was amused by his innocent and cute appearance, and a warm feeling welled up in her heart. So you heard it? I heard it. The baby said, Daddy is really handsome. Shameless. Li Mengyao just quietly looked at Lin Xian. At this moment, he looked just like a baby. Suddenly, a phone rang. Chapter 43, You just wait, brother. Suddenly, a phone rang. Lin Xian reluctantly picked up the phone and found it was his mother calling. He quickly answered the phone. Hello, mother, what's up? Son, have you eaten yet? Yes. Good, when are you bringing my daughter-in-law home to meet me? Zhang Shulan couldn't wait to ask. Lin Xian put down the phone and turned to Li Mengyao. Honey, we're going back to Yunhai City tomorrow morning, is that okay? Li Mengyao nodded obediently. Mom, we're going back tomorrow morning. In the afternoon, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao went to Jinwan shopping mall to buy some gifts to take back to Yunhai City. Honey, let's go. Li Mengyao changed into a dark blue denim dress, tied a black belt around her waist, and finally put on a pair of white canvas shoes, showing the freshness and vitality of a young girl. My wife looks really pretty today. Lin Xian walked up to her, put his arms around her, and inhaled the fragrance of Li Mengyao. Stop hugging, let's go. Li Mengyao gently pushed him away. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and walked to the parking lot, starting the Maybach and heading for Jinwan Square. The two arrived on the second floor of the Jinwan shopping mall and found a jewelry store, walking in. Hello, welcome. Hello, do you have any bracelets to introduce, for an elder? Yes, please wait a moment. The shop assistant smiled and took out several bracelets, showing them to Lin Xian and Li Mengyao and introducing their features. Honey, what about this one? Would Mum like it? Li Mengyao had set her eyes on a jadeite bracelet. It was crystal clear, with a warm texture, like a turquoise lake. My daughter-in-law would like anything she gives me. Lin Xian smiled. His own son was becoming less and less important. Hello, how much is this one? Li Mengyao politely asked. Beauty, you have a good eye. This is one of the most popular with the elderly. It is made of ice jade, so the price is a little more expensive, 100,000 yuan. Li Mengyao turned to Lin Xian, as if seeking his opinion. Honey, you have the family money in your hands, you decide. Lin Xian read her mind and smiled slightly. Hello, I'll take this one. Li Mengyao revealed a smile. Okay, I'll wrap it up right away. Please pay here. The shop assistant was overjoyed. He had sold a big order as soon as he started work in the afternoon. These two young people really are rich. Keep it, beautiful lady, and come again. After getting the bracelet, Li Mengyao went back to Lin Xian, put her arm around his, and walked out of the jewelry store. Let's go and see if there are any gifts that Dad will like. Lin Xian gently took the bag from her. My dad doesn't really have any hobbies, except for one thing, he really likes fishing. Sometimes he even goes all night, so let's get him a fishing rod. Don't all middle-aged men like fishing? But there doesn't seem to be a fishing tackle store around here. Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes. Look, there seems to be one. Li Mengyao looked in the direction Lin Xian was looking, and found one in a corner of the Jinwan shopping mall. Let's go then. Li Mengyao happily led Lin Xian towards the specialty store. The two walked into the store, and since Li Mengyao didn't know how to choose a fishing rod, she left it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian reached out and grabbed a fishing rod specially designed for fishing competitions, and examined it carefully. The rod was completely black, with a faint light shimmering on the body, as if it contained endless power. Lin Xian gently gripped the handle, feeling the texture from the rod, and tried swinging it a few times. It felt pretty good. This one is really good, Dad should really like it. Lin Xian smiled. Then this one. Li Mengyao gave a smile. The two went to the front desk to pay, and the owner, a middle-aged man, was preparing the bait to be used in the evening in the shop, and it was obvious that he was a veteran fishing enthusiast. Hello, boss, how much is this one? Li Mengyao gave a slight smile. This one is 60,000 yuan, because it is a fishing rod for competitions, and the materials used are top-notch. The fishing shop owner didn't expect that it was two such young people who came to buy a fishing rod. A fishing rod costs 60,000 yuan? Boss, can you make it cheaper? Li Mengyao looked at the chubby middle-aged man with pitiful eyes. You like fishing? The boss looked at the two of them and asked. Aha, we like fishing the most. Li Mengyao blurted out. Only Lin Xian looked at his wife in shock. Is this how you bargain? Okay, since you two are young and like fishing, I'll sell it to you cheaper, 50,000 yuan, really can't be cheaper. Thank you, boss. Li Mengyao was so happy that she almost jumped up. After leaving the shop, Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at, husband? Li Mengyao pouted. I'm laughing because you're really too virtuous, wife. Do you really know how to fish? Ha ha ha. Li Mengyao's pretty face turned red, and she lifted her hand to twist it in the familiar place. Okay, wife, I was wrong. By the way, husband, what does your sister like? Li Mengyao suddenly remembered that Lin Xian had another sister. See? You don't need to buy her anything. If you really want to, I think you can buy 5-year college entrance examination and 3-year college entrance examination practice. Lin Xian flashed his trademark smile. Lin CC, you just wait, brother. Behave yourself. Li Mengyao gave Lin Xian a dirty look and suddenly saw an Apple store upstairs. I know what to buy, let's go. Li Mengyao took Lin Xian's hand and walked upstairs. The two quickly arrived at the entrance to the mobile phone store. Wife, do you want to buy a mobile phone for Cici? Lin Xian asked. Yes, Li Mengyao smiled slightly. Her phone was just confiscated at school, ha ha ha. Lin Xian laughed heartily. It's okay, just let her play at home. Li Mengyao felt that she shouldn't be so strict with her child, she should relax a bit. Lin Cici, sister-in-law. My good sister-in-law. I love you. The two then walked in. Hello, may I help you? A salesperson approached them. Hello, do you have the latest Apple phone? Li Mengyao politely asked. Yes, this is our latest Apple 15 model. It not only features the most advanced chip technology, but also an ultra-high-definition camera, which allows you to easily take high-quality, clear and detailed photos and videos. The appearance is fashionable and simple, and it comes in a variety of colors to suit your personality. The salesperson explained in detail. How much is the top model? The top model costs 18,999 yuan. Li Mengyao hesitated slightly. She had bought her parents' models costing 50,000 or 100,000 yuan, but only bought her younger sister Lin Xian a model costing 10,000 yuan. Would she be considered a bad sister-in-law? Chapter 44, it's a bit like selling insurance. The shop assistant saw Li Mengyao frowning and suddenly realized that they were both still students and could not afford such an expensive one. If you think the top model is too expensive, you can take a look at the standard version. No, do you have the latest laptop? Li Mengyao had a flash of inspiration. Do you have it or not? The shop assistant was a little shocked. Yes, the top model. Li Mengyao nodded slightly. Okay, please wait a moment. Soon, the clerk held a laptop in front of Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. This is our latest top-of-the-line Apple laptop. It has an amazing processing speed, a huge amount of memory, and is incredibly light as a feather. It's a little more expensive, too, 22,399 yuan. What do you think, honey? Li Mengyao looked up at Lin Xian. I think Cici is laughing her head off right now. Lin Xian nodded helplessly. We'll take these too. Li Mengyao gave a slight smile. Okay, please hold on a second. The shop assistant left and then returned immediately. Hello, beautiful, if you want these too, you might as well try our latest full set package, which includes a mobile phone, an iPad, a laptop and wireless headphones, all top of the range. The original price is 77,888 yuan, and now the discounted price is 67,888 yuan. It's better value for money if you just buy the full set, the shop assistant said. Li Mengyao pursed her lips and looked at Lin Xian again, hesitating. Buy it, you're not short of money anyway. It's a big gift for Cici. Lin Xian gave a wry smile. Okay, let's get the whole set. Li Mengyao gave a smile again. Okay, just a moment. The salesperson packed up excitedly, having completed another big order. Sigh, even Lin Cici's gift is more valuable than Dad's, so family status really does determine value. Lin Xian glanced at Li Mengyao, who was playing with her phone, and suddenly realized that his wife was still using an old phone. It was just that Li Mengyao was very clean, and she always wiped her phone clean every time, so it looked like new. Hello, could you please add one more of the latest Apple 15 top-of-the-line phones? Lin Xian said to the clerk, who was still packing. Okay, just a moment. The clerk smiled even more happily. Honey, why do you need another phone? Li Mengyao squeezed Lin Xian's hand gently. How many years have you had your phone, honey? Lin Xian looked at her tenderly. Not long, it's still working. Li Mengyao blushed slightly and whispered. I'm surprised I just noticed it now, honey, you don't need to worry about saving money in the future, just go ahead and use it. Lin Xian gently put his arm around Li Mengyao. No, we need to be thrifty. Li Mengyao muttered. This girl really is impossible to resist. Be good. Lin Xian said gently. Oh. Soon, Lin Xian came out of the store carrying big bags and small bags. Li Mengyao took his arm and kept looking left and right to see if there was anything else to buy. Honey, don't buy anymore, if you buy anymore I won't be able to carry it. It's okay, I can still carry it. Li Mengyao was unmoved. Then she noticed a men's clothing store. Let's go have a look, Li Mengyao happily pointed her little finger. Clothes? I don't need any more clothes. Lin Xian said. You only have the same few clothes over and over again, and I'm tired of looking at them. Obey me. Li Mengyao tugged Lin Xian's hand and walked towards the store. Don't all guys just have a few clothes they keep switching between? Lin Xian was a little confused, but he obeyed his wife and went inside. The two walked into the store. Li Mengyao looked around and then walked over to pick up a few clothes and tried them on Lin Xian. This style doesn't look good. Li Mengyao shook her head slightly. This color is too eye-catching. Li Mengyao continued to pick out clothes. This polo shirt and that short-sleeved t-shirt are not bad, honey, go try them on. Li Mengyao nodded with satisfaction. Okay. Lin Xian picked up the two clothes and walked to the dressing room to change. After trying on the two clothes, Li Mengyao nodded with a smile and said these were the two. She then turned her head and glanced at the suit on the side. She had never seen Lin Xian wear a suit before, so how could she let go of this opportunity today? She then picked one out and handed it to Lin Xian again. Honey, go try it on again. Li Mengyao's mouth slightly lifted up the corner. Ha? Again? Lin Xian helplessly picked up the clothes and went back to the dressing room again, while Li Mengyao waited quietly outside. Before long, Lin Xian emerged from the dressing room wearing a pristine white suit, with a classic black suit jacket, an exquisite black belt, and slim black suit trousers. He looked exceptionally refreshed and dignified. Honey, what do you think? Ha ha ha, it looks good, really good. It's just a bit like an insurance salesman, ha ha ha. Li Mengyao's eyes were so happy they were almost beaming. Honey, you're teasing me. Lin Xian blushed and hurriedly went back into the dressing room to change. Li Mengyao was really happy, and her husband was sometimes a bit of a dork. Hello, could you pack these two items in the suit he just wore? Sure, just a moment. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao walked out of the store, finally ending their shopping trip. Honey, let's go back and eat. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and was about to leave, but the latter didn't move a muscle, her eyes fixed on a barbecue restaurant upstairs. Honey, I want to eat barbecue. No, the smell of cooking fumes is strong there, and I'm afraid you'll get morning sickness again. Lin Xian refused. This barbecue restaurant has a smoking machine at every table, so there is not much cooking fumes. That's not good either, who knows if the meat is fresh. Lin Xian refused again. This barbecue restaurant is ranked first in Jinghai City, and the meat is very fresh, okay? Li Mengyao pouted, cooing. The two had been shopping all afternoon, and Li Mengyao didn't want to let Lin Xian go home and cook again. Besides, the barbecue was really delicious. After Li Mengyao's soft soap and cute girl attacks, Lin Xian had no choice but to agree. But there was a prerequisite: Lin Xian would taste the meat first to see if it was fresh, and if he found it wasn't fresh, he would immediately take his wife home to eat. Then the two happily walked into the barbecue restaurant. After a while, the waiter brought up all the ingredients that needed to be grilled. Lin Xian picked up a piece of beef, put it on the grill and slowly roasted it. When it was cooked, he put it in his mouth and savored it. How is it? Not bad, is it? Li Mengyao almost drooled when she saw it. After all, she was really hungry. Well, the meat is not bad and it is quite fresh. After saying that, Lin Xian picked up another piece of beef and put it on the grill. When it was completely cooked, he gently blew off the hot air on the surface and then brought it to Li Mengyao's lips. Be careful, honey, it's hot. Li Mengyao opened her mouth slightly and took a bite of the beef. Instantly, a smile of satisfaction appeared on her face. At this moment, in a corner nearby, a figure was looking over at Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. Isn't this Li, the big school beauty, from our school? Chapter 45. What are you? A follower? Zhang Hua was a friend of Deng Junyi and happened to be eating at the barbecue restaurant at the same time. He then slowly took out his mobile phone from his pocket, turned on the camera, and pointed the lens at Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. As Lin Xian gently brought the food to Li Mengyao's mouth, he pressed the shutter button and sent it to Deng Junyi. An hour later, Li Mengyao left the barbecue restaurant with Lin Xian's arm around her, contented. Honey, next time we'll grill at home, Lin Xian said tenderly, looking at Li Mengyao. Okay, Li Mengyao said, beaming sweetly. Just as Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were about to leave the Jinwan shopping mall, an unexpected guest suddenly stood in front of them. It was Deng Junyi. Deng Junyi is 180 centimeters tall, about the same height as Lin Xian. He is blessed with a good appearance, with a pair of sword eyebrows and starry eyes, and a face like a crown of jade. However, compared to Lin Xian, he is still lacking a bit. At this time, he is looking at Lin Xian with an arrogant expression. Long time no see, Mengyao. Deng Junyi looks at Li Mengyao tenderly. Long time no see, Deng Shui. Li Mengyao responds politely. This is a gift I brought you from abroad. Do you like it? Deng Junyi completely ignored Lin Xian and handed the exquisite high-end perfume in his hand to Li Mengyao. I'm sorry, I don't like this perfume, so you can keep it, Senior Deng. Li Mengyao said calmly. It's okay if you don't like it, I'll buy you something else if you like. Deng Junyi continued. No need, Senior Deng, you don't need to buy me anything. Li Mengyao said coldly. Don't you know what I'm thinking? I've liked you for 4 years. Who is this person next to you? Deng Junyi clenched his fists and saw a sparkling diamond ring on Li Mengyao's left hand. He was furious. I know, but I said a long time ago that we weren't suitable for each other, and this person next to me is my husband. Li Mengyao tightened her grip on Lin Xian's hand. Why? Why did you get married just a year after I left? He's nothing but a gigolo. Mengyao, don't let him deceive you. Deng Junyi shouted angrily. People who casually and maliciously judge others often have dark hearts. My husband is not for you to judge. Please don't harass me again in the future. Hubby, let's go. Li Mengyao's eyes instantly turned cold as she said angrily. Li Mengyao didn't like Deng Junyi, so she called him Deng Shui out of courtesy. But he had slandered Lin Xian, so of course Li Mengyao couldn't agree. If I'm a gigolo, what are you? A follower? Lin Xian looked at Deng Junyi and laughed disdainfully. Li Mengyao then took Lin Xian's hand tightly, walked past Deng Junyi without hesitation, and strode forward. At this moment, Deng Junyi's face turned extremely ugly. He clenched his fists tightly, and anger and unwillingness flashed in his eyes. Suddenly, he turned around sharply. It seemed that Deng Junyi had lost his mind, and he swung his fists like a madman, charging straight at Lin Xian. Facing this sudden attack, Lin Xian remained unusually calm. He seemed to have already noticed the unusual movement behind him, quickly let go of Li Mengyao's hand, and turned around with lightning speed. Lin Xian caught Deng Junyi's swinging fist without a mistake, then pushed hard with the momentum, followed by a beautiful over-the-shoulder throw that sent Deng Junyi crashing to the ground. Ah! Deng Junyi screamed and fell to the ground, unable to move for a moment. Sneaking up from behind, you really are a follower. There are security cameras here. I'm warning you, if you mess around again, we'll call the police. Lin Xian said coldly. Honey, are you okay? Li Mengyao was terrified and hurriedly returned to Lin Xian's side, carefully examining him to see if he was hurt anywhere. It's fine, he was so desperate that he couldn't hurt me at all. Lin Xian smiled slightly. Let's go quickly. Li Mengyao saw that everyone nearby was looking at them strangely, so she took Lin Xian's hand and left. When they got home that evening, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao started packing their bags. After packing, Li Mengyao went into the bathroom to take a shower, while Lin Xian lay on the sofa reading the Jinwan Technology Company. Honey, go get me a pair of pajamas. Li Mengyao opened a crack in the bathroom door, slightly revealing a little head, looking shy. Okay, where did you put your pajamas? Lin Xian smiled. I forgot. Could you help me find it? Li Mengyao said nervously. Lin Xian first went to the closet, but didn't find it. Then he went to the large balcony and saw a cute pair of pajamas hanging there at a glance. Soon, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's cute pajamas and went to the bathroom door. At this time, Li Mengyao quickly shrank her cute little head into the bathroom, leaving only a pale and delicate arm exposed, exuding a charming luster. Lin Xian was so mesmerized that he didn't answer. Li Mengyao asked in a small voice. Here. Lin Xian, who had come back to his senses, handed the pajamas to Li Mengyao. Thank you, honey. Li Mengyao just wanted to take the pajamas back, but she found that she couldn't pull them off no matter how hard she tried. Lin Xian, let go. Li Mengyao said angrily. Honey, why don't we take a bath together? Lin Xian gave his trademark smile. No, you rascal. Okay, honey, I was just teasing you. Lin Xian let go of her hand with a smile. You big rascal. Li Mengyao quickly slammed the door after withdrawing her hand, and did not forget to scold Lin Xian angrily. Lin Xian returned to the living room with a smile. Half an hour later, Li Mengyao finally walked out of the bathroom, glared at Lin Xian, who was still smiling cheek to cheek on the sofa, and then went back to her room to rest. My wife is really cute when she's angry. Lin Xian then went into the bathroom to take a shower. Halfway through, he suddenly noticed. Where was my towel? Lin Xian had been looking for it in the bathroom for half a day and finally had no choice but to slightly open the bathroom door. Honey, I lost my towel. Can you help me look for it? I can't hear you. Honey, I was wrong. What did you do wrong? I shouldn't have molested you. Do you dare to do it again in the future? No, I won't. Li Mengyao heard no response from this side, so while Lin Xian was still continuing to admit his mistakes, he suddenly heard a light footstep approaching the bathroom. A blue light suddenly flashed in Lin Xian's eyes. When he looked again, it turned out that Li Mengyao was standing in the bathroom door with a blue towel in her hand. She moved very quickly, as if she were guilty of something, hung the towel on the bathroom door handle, and then turned and ran back to the room, seemingly accompanied by a hint of laughter. Chapter 46, Now This Is My Home. Lin Xian returned to his room after taking a shower and saw Li Mengyao pretending to read seriously, with an unhidden smile on her lips. Her small eyes occasionally glanced at Lin Xian standing by the window. Lin Xian had already guessed what was going on. Wife, where did you find the towel? Lin Xian lay on the bed, next to Li Mengyao. On the balcony, Li Mengyao said calmly. That's strange, I found your pajamas on the balcony, but I didn't notice my towel hanging there at the time. Lin Xian smiled. You must have seen it wrong. Li Mengyao continued to act calm. Is there any possibility that my wife secretly took my towel and pretended not to know? Lin Xian once again showed her trademark smile. There is no such possibility, honey. I'm sleepy, good night. Li Mengyao almost put the book on the side of the bed as quickly as she could, then climbed into bed as lightly as a cat. She lay quietly on her back, eyes closed, her breathing slowing as if she had really fallen asleep. However, the slightly raised corner of her mouth betrayed her. Lin Xian saw this and didn't indulge her, leaning in to kiss those tempting lips. I'm ignoring you. Li Mengyao turned around, leaving Lin Xian with a good-looking back of her head. In the end, it's still yourself who suffers, Li Mengyao couldn't figure it out, and suddenly she thought of something. Li Mengyao turned her head back, looking at Lin Xian with worried eyes. Husband, will Cici not like my sister-in-law? Of course not, your wife is so gentle and good-looking, beautiful as a fairy, everyone likes her. Lin Xian took advantage of the situation to stroke Li Mengyao's hair with one hand, which exuded a charming fragrance. Stop it, I'm serious. Li Mengyao said, a little embarrassed. Cici is a lively person, the busier the merrier, the happier she is. Don't worry, dear. Okay, it's getting late, the babies need to go to sleep. Lin Xian hugged Li Mengyao and reassured her. Then the two of them fell asleep. The next morning, it wasn't until the sun was shining in their faces that Lin Xian and Li Mengyao got ready to get up. After they had washed up, Lin Xian went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast, while Li Mengyao counted her luggage to see if she had forgotten anything. Soon after the two finished breakfast, they went to the parking lot downstairs at Jinwan Mansion. Just as Lin Xian was about to walk over to his Maybach, Li Mengyao suddenly held him back. Honey, let's take the Xiaomi Su7 this time, Li Mengyao said with a smile. Why? Lin Xian asked, puzzled. Because you spoil Xiaohei too much, don't you think it's a bit too serious? You haven't even driven the Xiaomi car a few times, Li Mengyao said with a gentle wink in her elegant eyes. Lin Xian thought about it and realized that she was right. Okay, I'll listen to my wife. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao to the Xiaomi Su7, and after she was seated in the back, he got back in the driver's seat and started the car. Ding, the system has detected that the host needs to drive the Xiaomi smart car for a long journey. For the safety of the babies, the system will upgrade the smart driving system and battery of the Xiaomi Su7 for free. 1 minute later. Congratulations, the host has successfully upgraded the Xiaomi Su7. The smart driving system has been upgraded to the top level of the future, and the host does not need to drive manually. The battery has also been successfully upgraded, and the host only needs to charge once to run for a year. There is such a good thing. Lin Xian was going to drive manually, but the system gave the upgrade for free. Xiaoi, turn on the intelligent driving mode. Lin Xian said with some anticipation. Immediately afterwards, a gentle response sounded, okay, may I ask where you need to go, master? To Yunhai City, Lin Xian replied. Okay. Okay, destination set to Yunhai City, leaving soon, please fasten seatbelt and relax, master. After the intelligence system of the Xiaomi Su7 beeped, the vehicle slowly started and drove smoothly towards Yunhai City. Lin Xian sat quietly in the driver's seat, his hands lightly holding the steering wheel. At first, he was still a little uneasy, fearing a sudden accident and being ready to take over the vehicle at any time. Soon, Lin Xian saw the power of the system and couldn't help but feel a surge of emotion. The system is really powerful. The upgraded intelligent driving is already very advanced, and the response speed is even much faster than that of a human. Along the way, Lin Xian looked at the scenery while talking to Li Mengyao about his hometown of Yunhai City. It is a beautiful coastal city with a stunning coastline and a unique charm. Can I go see the sea then? Li Mengyao asked with anticipation. Li Mengyao had never seen the sea since she was a child. Of course you can. Lin Xian smiled. As they chatted, Li Mengyao fell asleep again. Soon, 3 hours had passed. Lin Xian drove out of the Yunhai City toll booth and arrived at a place he was familiar with. Wake up, honey, we're in Yunhai City. Lin Xian patted Li Mengyao gently. Ha? Are we there yet? Li Mengyao rubbed her eyes with her small hands and looked out the window in surprise. The city was located on the shore of the Azure Sea, and the edge of the city was connected to the sea. The Azure Sea and sky blended together to form a beautiful picture. Wow, it's so beautiful. We can go for a walk on the beach at night, but let's go home first. Lin Xian smiled. Good, a trace of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face. The Xiaomi Su7 started up again and slowly drove towards Lin Xian's hometown. After a while, the two arrived at a small community that looked very welcoming. It had good greenery and a beautiful environment. Although the community had been inhabited for several years, it still maintained a brand new appearance. Lin Xian parked the car in the parking lot and then took Li Mengyao's hand and walked towards the elevator door. When they entered the elevator, Lin Xian could clearly feel Li Mengyao's small hand slightly sweating, which made him smile. Still nervous? It's okay, haven't you seen it at home before? Relax. At this time, only my mother should be at home. Lin Xian smiled slightly. Still nervous, Li Mengyao whispered. At this time, the two had already arrived at Lin Xian's front door. He took out the key, opened the door and walked in. "Mom, I'm home," Lin Xian said with a happy face. "Oh, my daughter-in-law is here, you must have had a hard time on the way." Zhang Shulan warmly welcomed her, bypassing Lin Xian and saying, "Come, this is your home now, don't be formal." "Okay, Mom," Li Mengyao said nervously. After Li Mengyao sat down, Zhang Shulan turned back to her son and said, "What are you still doing? Bring in the luggage." I know. Lin Xian said helplessly. After Lin Xian brought the luggage in, Li Mengyao took out the jadeite bracelet from inside and handed it to Zhang Shulan, smiling slightly. "Mom, this is a gift for you." Zhang Shulan smiled happily. "What gift?" "You are the best gift." Zhang Shulan picked up the crystal clear jadeite bracelet and could tell at a glance that it wasn't cheap. "Mom really likes it, but don't buy it again next time, okay?" Lin Xian and Li Mengyao just continued to smile, pretending not to hear, and of course they would continue to buy. Daughter-in-law in the future. Has she gone to the hospital for a checkup recently? How is the baby? Zhang Shulan couldn't wait to ask. The baby is developing healthily, and the doctor also said that Li Mengyao nervously lowered her eyes. "What else did you say?" Zhang Shulan anxiously pursued. "The doctor said it's twins." Zhang Shulan instantly froze. Chapter 47 Lin Xian is very nice to me. What? Twins? Zhang Shulan felt like she had a spring under her buttocks, and she sprang up from the sofa with a thud. Then she walked quickly over to Li Mengyao, sat down next to her, took her hand tightly, and her face was full of joy, her mouth almost reaching the ears. "Mengyao, are you really having twins?" Zhang Shulan said again, excitedly. "It's true." Li Mengyao was shocked by her mother-in-law's unusual behavior. "Here, this is the pregnancy test report." Lin Xian quickly handed his mother the latest pregnancy test report from Li Mengyao. Zhang Shulan took the report and saw that the words twins were clearly written on it. She was so excited that her hands began to tremble. "That's great. Ah, you're really something, son." Lin Xian smiled slightly, and Li Mengyao's face flushed slightly when she heard this. Zhang Shulan kept looking at the pregnancy test report and kept saying, "Twins are good, twins are good." Suddenly, Zhang Shulan thought of something else. "Son, did you bring the marriage certificate for you and Yao Yao? Show it to me." "Here it is." Lin Xian continued to hand the little red book to his mother. Zhang Shulan looked at it from left to right, her face beaming with happiness. Her idiot son had finally married a wife, and the daughter-in-law was so beautiful. She was simply a goddess, a vision of beauty. What was even more surprising was that the daughter-in-law was pregnant with twins. Maybe they're even twins. Li Mengyao blinked in confusion. She had never expected her mother-in-law to be so excited. Of course she was excited, she was going to become a grandmother all of a sudden with 2 babies. After a while, Zhang Shulan realized that she had lost her temper a little and sat back down next to Li Mengyao, smiling. "Mom is just so happy, don't be offended," she said. Li Mengyao still looked a little nervous. "Mom, I understand," she said. She herself was also very shocked when she found out she was having twins. Zhang Shulan looked at Li Mengyao's belly. It was already 14 weeks pregnant, and it was twins too, but why hadn't it started to show yet? "Rascal, are you not feeding my daughter-in-law enough nutrients? Why hasn't her belly started to show yet?" Zhang Shulan glared at Lin Xian. "Mom, some pregnant women just don't show until later." Lin Xian explained helplessly. "Mom, Lin Xian is very good to me." Li Mengyao whispered. "It's just that I'm so anxious." Zhang Shulan immediately changed to a gentle expression and smiled at Li Mengyao. "Son, you hurry up and go to the kitchen and make lunch. And remember to make some chicken soup with mother hen's eggs to nourish Mengyao." Zhang Shulan treated Lin Xian with a different expression. "Huh? Why do I have to cook when I get home?" Lin Xian complained. "It's because you brat have always disliked the food I cook since you were little. Now go." Lin Xian had no choice but to go into the kitchen and start bustling about. Li Mengyao's hands were clasped tightly together. She became even more nervous after Lin Xian left. Zhang Shulan immediately noticed the diamond ring on Li Mengyao's left hand and the bracelet she had given her daughter-in-law for the first time. She was overjoyed. "Mengyao, don't be so nervous. Just treat this as your own home." Li Mengyao nodded slightly. At this moment, the door suddenly opened, and it was Comrade Lin Zhenghua who had returned. "Wife, I'm home." He walked in with a worried expression on his face due to the pressure of working in a state-owned enterprise, and was immediately followed by a fierce glare from Zhang Shulan. This glare made him feel uneasy and he couldn't help but tremble. Then he noticed that his daughter-in-law, Li Mengyao, was sitting demurely and quietly on the sofa, a little constrained and nervous. "Dad." Li Mengyao bowed her head slightly and called out softly. "Ha? Mengyao, you're here, ha ha ha." Lin Zhenghua came back to his senses and immediately put on a friendly smile and responded enthusiastically. "Has that brat Lin Xian bullied you? Tell Dad, I'll teach him a lesson." Lin Zhenghua sat down on the sofa opposite with a smile. No, Lin Xian is really very nice to me." Li Mengyao's pretty face turned red. Kissing shouldn't be considered bullying, should it? "Dad, this is a gift I brought you from Jinghai City." Li Mengyao handed Lin Zhenghua the fishing rod she had bought at the mall for the competition. Lin Zhenghua could tell at a glance that the rod was worth a lot of money. He kept stroking it in his hands. What a great rod! He had wanted to buy a rod like this a long time ago, but unfortunately, the financial power was in Zhang Shulan's hands, and Zhang Shulan felt that it was not worth spending tens of thousands of dollars on a broken fishing rod. "Thank you, Mengyao, I really like it," Lin Zhenghua said happily. "Oh, Lin, look at this." Zhang Shulan pointed to a small red notebook and a pregnancy test report on the table. Lin Zhenghua picked up the marriage certificate and looked at it, his mouth slightly raised, revealing an imperceptible smile. Then he picked up the pregnancy test report and froze for a moment, before his face broke into a broad smile a few seconds later. "Where is Lin Xian?" Lin Zhenghua asked impatiently. "Cooking in the kitchen," Zhang Shulan replied. "I'll go help, you two continue chatting." With that, he walked happily into the kitchen like a little boy. Zhang Shulan couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Lin Zhenghua usually gave the impression of being calm and reserved, but this time he had completely disregarded his image. Arriving in the kitchen, Lin Zhenghua gave his son Lin Xian a hard slap. "You little brat, you've made me a grandfather of two all at once," Lin Zhenghua said with a happy face. "Dad, be gentle." Lin Xian looked at his father speechlessly. "If there are any more dishes to be made, Dad can help you." "Dad, aren't you tired after work?" In Lin Xian's impression, Lin Zhenghua was always very tired after work. "What's tired? I'm full of motivation now. I'll help you and cook a few more dishes for the babies." Lin Zhenghua then picked up the cleaver and started to get busy. In no time, the father and son had prepared a whole table of dishes. "Let's eat." At the dinner table, Zhang Shulan kept on helping Li Mengyao to eat, and her rice bowl never had a moment's rest. But Li Mengyao really couldn't eat that much, so she looked up at Lin Xian and raised an eyebrow. Lin Xian understood her meaning and finished eating everything that Li Mengyao couldn't eat. "Mengyao, in a few days, shall we go back to Lin Xian's hometown together? His grandparents have always wanted to meet you," Zhang Shulan asked. "Okay." Li Mengyao nodded slightly. After lunch, this time it was Zhang Shulan who cleaned up the dishes. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and led her back to his room. Li Mengyao took a closer look after entering. It was a spacious and tidy room, with a bed placed in the middle that looked quite comfortable. Opposite the bed was a wardrobe with a simple but practical design. There was also a desk next to the bed, with a laptop on it. The bookshelf was filled with all kinds of books, as well as some high-tech robot models. "Husband, you still play with this?" Li Mengyao picked up one of the models and smiled slightly. "I played with those when I was a kid." "Okay, it's time for a nap." The two then embraced each other and fell into a sweet sleep together. Chapter 48, Top Scholar. The time came, 3:30 p.m. Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes and looked at the beautiful woman in his arms, who was still sound asleep. He carefully tried to get up quietly. Just as Lin Xian was getting dressed, Li Mengyao's sensitive little hands sensed Lin Xian's departure, and she opened her eyes drowsily. "Honey, where are you going?" Li Mengyao asked in a sweet voice, propping herself up with one hand and rubbing her eyes gently with the other. "I'm going to pick Cici up. She'll be starting summer vacation soon. You go back to sleep, honey." Lin Xian responded tenderly. "I want to go too." Li Mengyao quickly sat up and embraced Lin Xian. Li Mengyao wanted to make a good impression on Lin Cici. "Okay, let's go together." Lin Xian rubbed Li Mengyao's head. Well, another half hour passed. Honey, let's go. Li Mengyao was wearing a simple white shirt, paired with an elegant black skirt. She had applied light makeup, giving her a fresh and natural air that accentuated her innocence and charming allure. Lin Xian's eyes were fixed on her again. Don't kiss me, it's hard to get dressed properly. Li Mengyao held out her small hand to gently push Lin Xian away. But Li Mengyao was a young lady, and her strength was no match for Lin Xian. Lin Xian gave her a light peck on her tempting lips with lightning speed. Just a little kiss. Lin Xian smiled. Okay, let's go. Li Mengyao's face turned red, and she quickly broke free of Lin Xian's embrace and took his hand and walked out. The two arrived at the parking lot and got into the Xiaomi Su-7. Little AI, please go to Yunhai No. 1 Middle School, Lin Xian said. Yes, master. Nisu 7 slowly started up and drove towards Yunhai No. 1 Middle School. After more than 20 minutes, Nisu 7 pulled up steadily in the parking lot of Yunhai No. 1 Middle School. It was already 4:30 p.m., and there was still half an hour until Lin Sisi finished the last subject of the final exam. Lin Xian wanted to wait in the car for his sister to finish the exam. Honey, can we go inside the school and have a look around? Li Mengyao pulled Lin Xian's hand and smiled slightly. Sure, let's go. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao got out of the car and walked hand in hand to the security guard room at the school gate. Hey, do you remember me? Lin Xian smiled and greeted the security guard. Hey, it's Lin Xian. What brings you back here? The security guard smiled and responded. I'm here to take my wife back to see our alma mater and to pick up my sister on her way home for the holidays. Can we go in? Lin Xian gave a hearty laugh. Lin Xian is a celebrity at school, of course you can, please come in. The doorman pressed the button in his hand and the school gate gradually opened. You are a perfect match, Lin Xian, I didn't expect you to get married so soon. The doorman looked at the two of them with a kind gaze. Uncle, you are also preparing to retire, aren't you? Lin Xian asked. Yes, I will retire after this year is done, it's fine, you can go in now. The doorman smiled. Thank you, uncle. Li Mengyao politely responded. No need, ha ha ha. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao arrived at Yunhai City No. 1 Middle School, the city's top school, which gathered the city's best students. The campus was full of trees and flowers, with modern teaching buildings neatly arranged in a clean environment. Every corner revealed a sense of rigor and order. The two walked side by side on the green path, their footsteps light, as if they were afraid of breaking the tranquility. Li Mengyao tilted her head slightly, quietly soaking up the unique atmosphere of the campus. The breeze caressed her face, bringing a faint fragrance of grass. She imagined Lin Xian spending every day at the high school, his focused expression during class, and his playful antics with his classmates after class. A feeling of joy welled up in her heart. Every 10 meters along both sides of the greenway stood a display board with the glorious deeds of the college entrance examination over the years. Li Mengyao strolled among them, her eyes inadvertently scanning the boards. Suddenly, her gaze stopped on one of the boards. Upon closer inspection, it was none other than her current husband, Lin Xian. It clearly stated on the board of glorious deeds, Lin Xian, with an astonishing 687 points in 2020, won the title of Yunhai City's science champion and successfully entered Jinghai University. Li Mengyao was stunned. She knew that Lin Xian was very smart and had a strong learning ability, but she had no idea that he was the top student in science. No wonder the doorman just said that Lin Xian was a celebrity at school. Husband, why didn't you tell me any of this? Li Mengyao asked with a smile as she looked up at him gently. Your husband is very low-key, and besides, you didn't ask. Lin Xian smiled proudly. Lin Xian tried to reach out and pinch Li Mengyao's little face, but she easily avoided it. Lin Xian gave up. Isn't this Lin Xian? Why are you back? A middle-aged woman slowly walked over, wearing a light blue dress and a pair of white high heels. She had a light and graceful gait. This person was Lin Xian's high school class teacher, Miss Chiu. Miss Chiu, it's been a long time. You're still so pretty, and you feel younger and younger. Lin Xian gave a surprised smile. You, going to university is really different, you can even make jokes at your teacher's expense. Chiu Ruishua couldn't help but laugh out loud. Lin Xian gave a little laugh and then introduced the woman next to him to her teacher. This is my wife, Li Mengyao. Then he turned to Li Mengyao and said, Wife, this is my high school class teacher, Teacher Chiu. Hello, Teacher Chiu. Li Mengyao politely said hello. Hello, you're a pretty young lady. You two make a good match. I didn't think that Xian would get married so soon. Zhou Ruishui gave a satisfied smile. Thank you for the compliment, teacher. Li Mengyao's cheeks flushed slightly when she heard Zhou Ruishui's compliment. You may not know, but because Lin Xian is handsome, many girls approached him in high school, including some very good-looking ones, but Lin Xian was unmoved and just focused on his studies, so in the end everyone said he was a nerd. But none of those girls were as good-looking as you, so our Xian really has good taste. Zhou Ruishui smiled as she recalled Lin Xian in high school. Li Mengyao was a little puzzled after hearing this. A nerd? Would a nerd hold her and kiss her every night? Chapter 49 Sister-in-law, you are literally my savior. Ding dong ding. The exam time is up, please stop answering the questions. The bell rang to indicate the end of the exam. The teacher still has things to do, so come back to your alma mater to visit whenever you have time. Zhou Ruishui smiled and said goodbye. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao then went to wait under the teaching building where Lin Sisi was teaching. Not long after, a girl with fair skin like snow, delicate features, a high-nose bridge, and eyes as deep and bright as Lin Xian's ran out of the teaching building first. Her ponytail, which was tied high, jumped up and down with her running movements, which further accentuated her innocence and cuteness, and the clever and intelligent look in her eyebrows made people unable to take their eyes off her. Brother! Lin Sisi saw Lin Xian, who had come to pick her up, at a glance, and waved her hands excitedly, shouting out loud. At the same time, she saw the elegant and beautiful woman next to Lin Xian, who must be her sister-in-law. Lin Sisi excitedly trotted over, grabbed Lin Xian's hand, and said happily, "Brother, you came to pick me up?" Lin Xian reached out and touched Lin Sisi's little head, smiling. "Yes, let me introduce you, this is your sister-in-law, Li Mengyao." Lin Sisi then happily said to Li Mengyao, "Hello, sister-in-law, I'm Lin Xian's younger sister, Lin Sisi." Li Mengyao smiled slightly. "Hello, Sisi." Her sister-in-law was too beautiful. She had known from the photos in the group chat that she was a beauty, but she didn't expect the real person to be even more beautiful, almost like a fairy come down to earth. Lin Sisi then looked at Lin Xian with a questioning look. She couldn't understand how her idiot brother had managed to marry such a beautiful sister-in-law. Lin Xian immediately saw through his sister's thoughts and gave her a gentle tap on the head. "What are you thinking about? Hurry back to the dormitory and bring out the luggage." "Brother, aren't you going to help me carry it?" Lin Sisi covered her head, frowning and complaining. "It's not convenient for me to go into your girls' dormitory, so I'll drive my car to the bottom of your dormitory later, and you can just carry it down," Lin Xian explained. Oh. Lin Xian had just graduated from university, not much older than the high school students, and entering the girls' dormitory as a parent would have a bad influence. "Sisi, let me help you carry your luggage," Li Mengyao said softly to Lin Sisi. "Ha? Sister-in-law? This is absolutely not allowed. You're pregnant, sister-in-law. If my mother finds out, she'll beat me to death." Lin Sisi hurriedly waved her hands to refuse. "It's okay, I'll just help carry the light things." Li Mengyao smiled slightly. "No, the school is about to break for the holidays, and the dormitory corridors are full of people. What if we bump into each other?" Lin Xian quickly spoke up to stop Li Mengyao. "Okay then," Li Mengyao whispered. "Sisi, you go back and pack quickly, we'll wait for you downstairs in the dormitory." Lin Xian smiled. "Mm." Lin Sisi responded, and then, like a little bunny, she took off running towards her dormitory building. "Sisi is really cute." Li Mengyao smiled. "She is a little girl in the flesh, with a particularly lively and cheerful personality. Okay, let's go back to the car." It wasn't long before the two of them returned to the car, started the Xiaomi Su-7, and drove to the bottom of Lin Sisi's dormitory building. Half an hour later, Lin Sisi was carrying a small and exquisite school bag, dragging a large suitcase with one hand, and leisurely drinking a cold drink with the other hand. Lin Sisi stood on the roadside, looking left and right, but she never saw her father's car. She couldn't help but wonder, why is this stinking brother so slow? Drip! Lin Xian honked the horn. Lin Sisi looked in the direction of the sound and saw her brother sitting in the driver's seat of a brand new Xiaomi Su-7. Lin Sisi's eyes lit up, and she immediately dragged her suitcase and trotted over. Meanwhile, Lin Xian also pushed open the car door and got out, quickly walking towards Lin Sisi and taking the large suitcase from her hands. "Wow, brother, when did you buy a new car? It's so cool!" Lin Sisi exclaimed in surprise. "I just bought it recently," Lin Xian said, while deftly helping Lin Sisi to stow her luggage in the boot. Then can you? Stop it, you don't even have a driver's license, don't even think about it. Get in the car and sit properly. Lin Cece was cut off ruthlessly by Lin Xian before she could finish speaking. Lin Cece could only sulk, close her mouth, and get into the car silently. After Lin Xian had unloaded the luggage, closed the trunk, and sat in the car, he turned around and saw his younger sister sitting in the back row, looking aggrieved. After you graduate from high school and get your driver's license, I'll buy you a new car, okay? Lin Xian said gently. Really? Lin Cece's face lit up with a big smile. When have you ever lied to me? Lin Xian laughed heartily. Don't I always get cheated out of the money I get for New Year's Eve greetings? Lin Cece pouted mischievously. Cough cough, how can we call it cheating between siblings? It's just a temporary loan. Lin Xian argued without blinking an eye, his face so thick it was unbelievable. Li Mengyao on the side couldn't help but snicker. I don't care, I'll charge interest. When I get my driver's license, you have to buy me a brand new car. Lin Cece said coquettishly. I know, Big Brother will buy you one as a high school graduation gift. Lin Xian smiled. Speaking of gifts, Li Mengyao suddenly remembered and then took out the complete Apple gift set she had bought at the mall earlier and handed it to Lin Cece, smiling slightly. Cece, this is a gift from your sister-in-law to you. Wow, sister-in-law. You are literally my savior. Thank you, sister-in-law. Lin Cece took out the complete Apple gift set, which contained all the things she had been longing for, a mobile phone, a computer, an iPad, and headphones. Don't get too excited, you can only play with these during the holidays, you can't take them to school. Lin Xian smiled as she reminded Lin Cece, then started the car and switched on the advanced intelligent driving mode. The Xiaomi SU7 slowly drove home. Ah. Why? I haven't affected my academic performance by playing with my phone, I've always been in the top 10 in my year, Lin Cece protested, pouting in dissatisfaction. It has to be admitted that Lin Cece's grades at Yunhai No. 1 Middle School have always been among the best. If nothing goes wrong, she will definitely go to Jinghai University. If she makes a little more effort, she might even be able to get the top score in the city, just like her brother. Being in the top 10 now doesn't mean you will be in the top 10 forever. It seems I have to add one more condition, if I find out you've secretly taken your phone to school, I won't buy you a car. Lin Xian's tone was gentle, but the firmness contained within was unmistakable. Chapter 50, A Walk on the Beach. I see. Lin Cece could only agree. Brother, don't you need to hold the steering wheel tightly? No, it's smart driving now. Lin Xian responded with a smile. Wow. This is awesome. Lin Cece showed an expectant look, looking forward to being able to drive a smart car in the future. Before long, the Xiaomi SU7 pulled up steadily in the residential area parking lot, and the three of them returned home together. Ah. It's still comfortable at home. Lin Cece sat heavily on the soft sofa with an expression of unbridled enjoyment. Li Mengyao also looked a little tired, and she sat down gently next to Lin Cece. Brother, tonight I want braised beef, poached pork slices, sour cabbage fish, and grilled lamb chops. Lin Cece loves her brother's cooking the most, and it's been a long time since she's had it. You're just greedy. Lin Xian rubbed Lin Cece's little head vigorously, then turned around and went into the kitchen to start preparing tonight's dinner. A man who can cook will never escape the fate of cooking, no matter where he is. Seeing her brother go into the kitchen, Lin Cece turned to look at her sister-in-law Li Mengyao, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Sister-in-law, you are so pretty and elegant. How did you and my brother meet, and how did my brother woo you? Lin Cece couldn't help but ask softly. We met at the library, and then it was love at first sight, well, it was like that. Li Mengyao smiled slightly, and a blush spread across her delicate face. Lin Cece's eyes lit up when she heard this, and she smiled, saying, I knew my brother was a nerd. But sister-in-law, although my brother sometimes seems dull, he is really a very nice person. Then she held out a cute little hand and began counting. Not only can he cook, he's also good at housework, he has excellent grades, and he cares a lot about his family. With each item she counted, Lin Cece's face was filled with a proud expression. You're afraid you have some misunderstanding about your brother. Where did you stay? He's practically a kissing maniac. At this moment, Li Mengyao's true thoughts were in her heart. Mengyao? Cece? You're back? At this moment, there was a sound of the door opening, and it was Zhang Shulan returning home. She saw her daughter and daughter-in-law sitting on the sofa chatting. Mom, you're back. Lin Cece quickly stepped forward and took over a large bag of things from her mother's hands. Well, how are the final exams? Zheng Shulan asked with a smile. Don't you know your daughter's level? Don't worry, there's no problem. Lin Cece gave a confident expression. Mom, welcome back. At this time, Li Mengyao, who was slightly tired, also hurriedly came forward to greet Zheng Shulan. Mengyao, are you feeling unwell anywhere? Did that brat bully you? Zheng Shulan saw Li Mengyao's tired expression and asked anxiously. No, I'm just a little sleepy, Li Mengyao responded softly. Li Mengyao is a bit of a night owl, so she didn't sleep much in Lin Xian's room in the afternoon, otherwise she wouldn't have noticed that her husband had gotten up. Then you hurry back to your room and get some rest. I'll wake you when dinner is ready. After saying this, Zheng Shulan took Li Mengyao's hand and led her back to her room. Li Mengyao obediently nodded, lay down quietly, and then Zheng Shulan walked out of the room with a relieved heart. Li Mengyao was really very sleepy, and soon fell into a deep sleep. What time is it? Li Mengyao opened her beautiful eyes drowsily, sat up in bed, and stretched gently. It's already 8 o'clock, dear, came a gentle voice. Ah! Husband, you scared me. Li Mengyao was startled, and suddenly realized that Lin Xian was lying next to her. She had just dozed off, so she hadn't noticed. I'm sorry, dear, I didn't mean to scare you, Lin Xian said quickly, getting up and hugging Li Mengyao, comforting her gently. I know. Li Mengyao also reached out to hug Lin Xian and felt his warmth and the sense of security that the embrace brought. Her heart gradually returned to a calm rhythm and her mood became happy. Have you eaten dinner yet? Li Mengyao looked up and asked, looking Lin Xian in the eyes. We already ate, and we purposely saved you a portion, Lin Xian said tenderly. Why didn't you wake me up? Li Mengyao scolded, which made her seem very rude. I saw that you were sleeping so soundly, and I couldn't bear to wake you up. Let's go, we'll eat now, the babies are starving. Lin Xian gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair, his eyes full of adoration. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and led her to the dining table. After Li Mengyao had settled down, Lin Xian took out a dinner from the warming cabinet and gently placed it in front of her. It was all her favorite dishes. At this point, Li Mengyao was already starving and began to eat her rice in small mouthfuls. Lin Xian watched quietly from the side. Where are Mom and Dad and Cece? Li Mengyao looked up and saw that there were only the two of them left at home. Mom and Dad had gone out for a walk after they had eaten, and Cece had gone out to play with her classmates. Lin Xian smiled. Oh. Li Mengyao continued to eat her rice. Soon, Li Mengyao was full and belched contentedly. Honey, let's take a break and go for a walk. Okay, Li Mengyao smiled happily. After eating, Li Mengyao rested for 10 minutes, and the two of them walked out of the house. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and led her to a small electric moped. Honey, aren't we going for a walk? Li Mengyao looked at the cute electric vehicle with confusion and asked. Yes, we're going for a walk by the sea. It's still a bit of a distance to walk here, so we'll ride the electric vehicle, Lin Xian smiled. Well, Li Mengyao's eyes lit up with joy at the prospect of going to the beach. Get on, honey. Lin Xian smiled as she got on the little electric moped and handed Li Mengyao a small pink helmet. This is Lin Cece's little helmet. In the past, Lin Xian often took her out for a ride. Li Mengyao put on the helmet, pressed against Lin Xian's shoulder, and with a graceful and neat movement, she lightly straddled her slender legs, sat steadily behind Lin Xian, and wrapped her arms tightly around his waist. She smiled happily. Hubby, I'm ready. Then let's go. Lin Xian started the car and slowly drove towards the beach. As the electric moped moved forward, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao got closer and closer to the beach. The sea breeze blew with a salty smell, which made people feel happy and carefree. Li Mengyao closed her eyes and felt the embrace of the breeze, which made her feel exceptionally comfortable. Finally, they arrived at the beach. The seaside at night is quiet and mysterious. The moonlight is like water sprinkling on the sea, sparkling and shimmering. Lin Xian parks the electric moped, and Li Mengyao can't wait to get off. She opens her arms wide, welcoming the sea breeze and enjoying the peace and freedom it brings. Lin Xian stands quietly by, admiring Li Mengyao's beautiful figure and feeling full of love. Chapter 51, Practice Makes Perfect. This place is really beautiful. Li Mengyao exclaimed, taking out her phone. With a smile, she snapped a photo, successfully capturing the intoxicating beauty before her. Just then, Lin Xian quietly walked up behind her, gently reached out his arm, and wrapped his arms around Li Mengyao, enjoying the beautiful night view of the beach with his wife. Lin Xian has lived here since childhood and often comes to the beach, so he knows this beach very well. He wonders why he didn't realize how beautiful it is before. After Li Mengyao has finished taking pictures of the spectacular scene of the big waves crashing against the shore, she uses her small fingers to gently touch the screen, and the phone instantly switches to selfie mode. Two faces full of happy smiles immediately appear in front of the lens, and the beautiful moment is thus frozen. "Honey, let's walk along the beach," Lin Xian asks softly, his tone full of tenderness. "Yes," Li Mengyao nodded gently. So they walked hand in hand on the beach, taking slow, leisurely steps. From time to time, the waves washed up onto the beach, brushing Li Mengyao's feet and bringing a cool sensation. Li Mengyao recalled that in the past, her father used to carry her around everywhere. Whenever they met an acquaintance, he would introduce them with joy. "Look, this is my daughter, haha." Back then, Li Mengyao was still young and just knew to play on her father's back. She felt that her father's shoulders were especially strong. Since her father's sudden death, Li Mengyao has never been carried again. The two continued to walk leisurely, when suddenly Li Mengyao stood still, as if she had been frozen in time. "What's wrong?" Lin Xian asked back tenderly. "Honey, I can't walk anymore." Li Mengyao's watery eyes blinked as she looked straight at Lin Xian. "Huh? What should we do then? Let's go back." Lin Xian of course knew what his wife was thinking, but pretended not to know. "Humph, I can't walk back either." Li Mengyao puffed up her cheeks and said angrily. "Then I'll carry you on my back, okay?" Lin Xian's mouth corners rose slightly, revealing a smile of affection, and then he turned around and crouched down. "Hee, honey, I'm going to get on." Li Mengyao, happy as a child, took a small step back, then quickly picked up the pace and started running. Finally, she leapt up lightly, and the whole person landed firmly on Lin Xian's broad back, hugging his neck tightly. "Be careful." Lin Xian quickly used both hands to hold Li Mengyao's long legs tightly. "Hubby, let's go." Li Mengyao shouted excitedly. "Yes, my dear wife." Lin Xian turned around and started walking back the way they had come. "Honey, why are you walking back? I haven't seen enough yet." Li Mengyao tugged at Lin Xian's clothes, anxiously. "Huh? Didn't you say you couldn't walk anymore? So I'm carrying you back now." Lin Xian gave a hearty laugh. Li Mengyao soon understood that Lin Xian had done it on purpose, and then lowered her head and gave Lin Xian a little kiss on the shoulder. Sigh. "Honey, I was wrong, so I'll make it up to you." Lin Xian hurriedly turned in the opposite direction again. After Li Mengyao's bite, Lin Xian also became a little more honest. Li Mengyao smiled happily when she saw the small tooth mark she had left on Lin Xian's shoulder. "Honey, am I heavy?" "No." Lin Xian felt a sense of crisis. "But I gained 2 pounds yesterday, according to the scale." Li Mengyao pouted. "It's normal to gain weight during pregnancy, and you're pregnant with 2 babies." Lin Xian patiently explained. "What if I can't lose the weight after giving birth?" Li Mengyao asked, resting her little face on Lin Xian's shoulder. "No, you can definitely lose the weight," Lin Xian said firmly. "What if I do?" Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xian with a smile. "Then I'll also eat myself fat, and we'll get fat together," Lin Xian said tenderly. After saying that, Lin Xian's right cheek was kissed hard by Li Mengyao. "Wife, how could you steal a kiss?" Lin Xian tried to turn his head to look, but Li Mengyao leaned to the other side. When Lin Xian turned to the other side, Li Mengyao hid back to this side, just to prevent Lin Xian from seeing her. "How can you say that? Before, you would kiss me whenever you felt like it, and every time you kissed me, I couldn't breathe." Li Mengyao's face turned slightly red as she spoke. "I was just trying to train you, and the more you kiss, the more you'll get the hang of it," Lin Xian said shamelessly. "Shut up." Li Mengyao poked him lightly with her small hand. Lin Xian continued walking with Li Mengyao on his back, as the two of them felt the refreshing sea breeze and listened to the sound of the waves lapping. "Honey, you can let me down now." Li Mengyao patted Lin Xian's back and said softly. "Okay." Lin Xian nodded slightly and carefully put Li Mengyao back on the ground. After landing, Li Mengyao slightly moved her body around and was about to turn around and walk back, but a gentle hand gently pulled her back into Lin Xian's warm embrace. "Honey, what are you doing?" Li Mengyao's gaze fell on Lin Xian's deep eyes, and she instantly understood his intentions. "My wife just kissed me, so I should return the favor, right?" Lin Xian whispered. Before the words had finished, Lin Xian gave Li Mengyao no chance to resist, gently lifting her chin before hesitatingly embracing those tempting lips. At that moment, there was only each other in their world, and everything around them became blurry. From a distance, the two figures embraced closely, like a beautiful scroll painting, and together with the sea and the moon, they formed a charming landscape. After returning home, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao took separate showers and lay down on the bed. Li Mengyao nestled in Lin Xian's arms, her mind still recalling the scene of just now, when she had kissed Lin Xian passionately by the sea, and her face flushed red once again. "Wife, why do you like the sea?" Lin Xian asked tenderly, looking at his wife in his arms. Lin Xian could tell that Li Mengyao yearned for the sea. "Because my father promised me when he was alive that he would take me to see the sea," Li Mengyao said with her head bowed. "Honey, I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing." Lin Xian hurriedly hugged Li Mengyao close, stroked her hair, and comforted her. "It's okay, I'm very content now." Li Mengyao raised her head slightly, looked at Lin Xian, and smiled slightly. "Then how about we take our wedding photos by the sea?" Lin Xian smiled at her. "Okay." Chapter 52. I haven't even gotten in the car yet. The next morning, Lin Xian woke up first and left the room quietly, going to the kitchen to start preparing breakfast for the family. For some reason, ever since he got the system's 5-star chef, Lin Xian had suddenly become fond of cooking. He liked it when his family ate the delicious food he cooked, he liked it when his family praised his superb cooking skills, and he liked the happy smiles on their faces. Soon, a big pot of fragrant shrimp congee was served, along with steaming pumpkin pancakes and tender, smooth egg custard. Lin Zhenggui and Zhang Shulan had also already got up and were now sitting on the sofa waiting for dinner to start. Lin Xian first went to the door of his younger sister Lin Cici's room, gently pushed open the door, and at a glance saw the little guy who was fast asleep in bed. She was sleeping in a big person shape, her quilt kicked to the side, her mouth slightly open, and she was snoring softly from time to time. "Little sister, get up for breakfast." Lin Xian shook Lin Cici and called softly. "Hey, I've finally got a day off, let me sleep a little." Lin Cici grumbled, while she shrank her little head into the quilt and continued to indulge in her own dreams. Lin Xian was at his wits' end with his sleepy sister and had no choice but to turn around and leave the room. As for his wife, Li Mengyao, Lin Xian had always been very indulgent with her, and Lin Xian usually waited for her to wake up naturally. "Lin Cici?" Lin Xian returned to the dining table and could only enjoy breakfast with his parents first, and put the rest in the warming cabinet. An hour passed, and Li Mengyao felt the baby in her stomach get hungry. She gently rubbed her charming eyes and then struggled to sit up in bed. Due to her pregnancy, her movements were a bit clumsy and laborious, but she still managed to get out of bed and slowly walked to the bathroom to start washing up. When she finished washing up, she came into the hall. "Mengyao, you're awake, hungry, right?" Zhang Shulan hurriedly came forward when she saw her daughter-in-law get up and took her hand to lead her to the dining table. "Good morning, Mom." Li Mengyao gave a small smile. Zhang Shulan took a breakfast out of the warming cabinet and put it in front of Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao began to enjoy the breakfast in small bites, suddenly realizing that her husband didn't seem to be home. "Mom, where's Lin Xian?" Li Mengyao asked. "I told him to go to the roof to hang the laundry, and he's not back yet." "Okay." Li Mengyao nodded gently and continued eating her breakfast. Soon, there was a sound of the door opening at the entrance, and Lin Xian returned. "Wife, you're awake?" Lin Xian asked softly as he sat down next to Li Mengyao after returning. Li Mengyao nodded with a smile. Zhang Shulan looked at the two of them and Lin Zhenggui, who was watching TV in the living room, and suddenly realized that there seemed to be one person missing, Lin Cici. The little lazybones is still sleeping. "Mengyao, you take your time eating, I'll go wake Cici up," Zhang Shulan said and got up to go to Lin Cici's room. 10 minutes later, Lin Cici was forced to come to the dining room with a resentful look on her face to have breakfast. Fortunately, her brother's cooking skills were on point, and the delicious food made her mood a little better. Lin Xian glanced at the time and saw that it was only 9:30. "Honey, do you want to go to the aquarium later?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "Sure, I've never been there before." Li Mengyao's eyes lit up and a smile of joy appeared on her face. "Cici, are you going?" Lin Xian turned to his younger sister and asked with a smile. "I'm not going. I don't know how much dog food I'll have to eat if I go, I want to sleep in." Lin Cici muttered, still a little sleepy-eyed and a little grumpy from getting up. After Li Mengyao had finished her breakfast, she went back to her room and got dressed up, then left the house with Lin Xian. The two arrived at the parking lot, got got into the Xiaomi Su7 car, and Lin Xian was about to start the car when he heard a familiar shout from behind. Brother! Brother! Wait for me, I'm not in the car yet. I'm not in the car yet. Lin Cece shouted anxiously from behind. Lin Cece sat in the back, panting. Cece, didn't you say you weren't going? Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh out loud, teasing. If I don't go, my mom will make me read and do my homework, so I might as well eat your dog food. Lin Cece pouted, complaining with a face full of reluctance. Then let's go together, and you can do your own thing when we get there. Lin Xian then started the car and told Xiaomi to navigate to the Yunhai Aquarium. The Xiaomi Su7 slowly drove towards the destination. After a while, the Xiaomi Su7 parked steadily in the parking lot of the Yunhai Aquarium. The three of them then got out of the car. Li Mengyao looked in awe at the amazing sight before her. The Yunhai Ocean Museum was a magnificent building, and the museum had cleverly used advanced high-tech methods to project a three-dimensional image of a whale on the building's surface. The huge whale appeared lifelike, as if it were swimming freely. The whale was so realistic that it seemed like it could leap off the building surface at any time, giving people an unparalleled and shocking experience. Stepping into the aquarium, it is like entering a dreamlike underwater palace. The interior is richly decorated, and there are many marine animals swimming around, making it seem as if you are in the underwater world. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao first went to the Marine Life Pavilion, which has a variety of marine life, including a dazzling array of fish, colorful corals, ancient and solemn turtles, etc., vividly reflecting the diversity of marine life. Lin Cece was also looking on by himself. Wow, it's so spectacular. This turtle is so cute. Li Mengyao said, excitedly pointing with her small hand at a baby turtle slowly swimming past her. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was quietly recording his wife's surprised moments on his phone. The three then went to the jellyfish pavilion, where the jellyfish, illuminated by special lighting, looked like fairies, exuding a mysterious and enchanting radiance. The jellyfish are so beautiful. Li Mengyao couldn't stop smiling. Honey, let's take a photo here to remember this place. Lin Xian smiled. Great, Li Mengyao's face was filled with a happy smile. Cece, come help your brother take a picture. Lin Xian smiled and shouted to his younger sister, who was not far away. I knew it. Lin Cece pouted. Reluctantly, Lin Cece took out her phone and took a few serious pictures of Lin Xian and his sister-in-law Li Mengyao. At this time, Li Mengyao noticed Lin Cece's little mood and asked gently, Cece, do you want to take a picture together? Sure, Lin Cece immediately beamed. She hadn't taken a photo with her brother in a long time either. She then ran over to stand between Lin Xian and Li Mengyao. Lin Xian randomly found a passerby and asked for help taking a photo. He walked up to the passerby and politely said, Hello, could you please take a photo of us? Sure. Thanks. The passerby then took the phone Lin Xian handed him and aimed the lens at the three of them. Get ready, 1, 2, 3. Kacha, the three people in the photo are smiling and overflowing with happiness. Chapter 53 Today, my mom is cooking for lunch. After visiting the jellyfish aquarium, Lin Xian and the others went to the underwater tunnel, as if they were in a magical underwater world. Blue light softly shone on them, surrounded by sparkling water, with fish swimming freely in it. The huge glass wall connects people with the marine life. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and slowly walked along the tunnel, while Lin Cece followed behind. Li Mengyao was enjoying the beautiful scenery in front of her. Suddenly, a shark whizzed past overhead, scaring Li Mengyao, who tightened her grip on Lin Xian's arm. Honey, why don't sharks eat other marine life? Li Mengyao blinked in confusion and asked curiously. Because the sharks here have been adapted to captivity, they don't lack for food and naturally won't prey on other marine creatures. Lin Xian patiently explained. Oh, let's go to the shark aquarium then. Li Mengyao smiled happily. Aren't you scared? Lin Xian smiled. What's there to be scared of? Li Mengyao said proudly. The three then walked out of the underwater tunnel and headed towards the shark aquarium. Walking into the shark aquarium, it felt as if they were in the domain of the sharks. Beneath the huge glass screen, the sharks swam around, including the ferocious great white shark, the petite lemon shark, the docile nurse shark and the extremely fast gray mackerel shark. Li Mengyao was still looking at these giant marine creatures up close for the first time, holding Lin Xian's arm tightly. Although she said she wasn't afraid, her body's reaction honestly revealed her inner fear. Lin Xian quickly noticed this and smiled. Okay, we've seen enough, we should go back. Li Mengyao nodded slightly. She really felt a sense of fear of the deep sea. The three of them left the Yunhai Aquarium together and got back into the Xiaomi Su-7. Lin Xian started the car and the Xiaomi Su-7 slowly drove out of the parking lot. On the way home, Li Mengyao suddenly saw a BMW 4S store and thought of something. "Hubby, wait a minute." Li Mengyao shouted hurriedly. "What's wrong?" Lin Xian quickly took over the steering wheel of the Mi Su-7 and pulled over. "Let's go to the BMW 4S store and have a look." Li Mengyao pointed her little finger. "Wife, do you want to buy a new car?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "No, I want to buy one for our father." "Didn't you say that he likes the BMW series the most?" Li Mengyao shook her head lightly and smiled. Li Mengyao saw Lin Jinggua's old BMW when she left the house in the morning. It has been driving for almost 10 years. "Okay, let's go take a look." Lin Xian smiled slightly. Lin Xian's heart stirred upon hearing this. He knew that his father had always loved BMW cars, but for various reasons had never replaced his car. Now that Lin Xian didn't lack money, it was time to upgrade the family car. "Brother, can you buy me one?" Lin Sisi asked with great anticipation. "If you want something beautiful, you can take a look now, and I'll buy it for you after you graduate and get your driver's license," Lin Xian said to his younger sister. Lin Xian then drove the car into the BMW 4S store parking lot. The three got out of the car and walked into the BMW 4S store together. "Welcome, are you here to buy a car?" A young saleswoman with a curvy figure, dressed in a modest professional outfit with sexy black stockings, greeted them lightly. As the saying goes, the more expensive the product, the younger and more beautiful the salesperson tends to be. "Yes, we are here to buy a car. May I ask if you have any recommendations for the BMW series?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. "May I ask what your budget is, sir?" the saleswoman asked. "Honey, how much do you think is appropriate to buy?" Lin Xian turned to Li Mengyao and asked tenderly. "You decide, I don't know anything about this," Li Mengyao said softly, her eyes slightly lowered. "Around 1 to 1.5 million. Having received his wife's authorization, Lin Xian answered without hesitation. Li Mengyao only paused slightly when she heard this, but quickly recovered. After all, they now had tens of millions of assets. It was the female salesperson and Lin Sisi who were stunned. The female salesperson thought that the three young people who had come, one of whom looked like a high school student, would pick the cheapest BMW series, and didn't expect it to reach the million level so quickly. Lin Sisi was also shocked. When did her brother become so rich? If it's in this price range, we highly recommend the BMW 8 series. It has a stylish and dynamic appearance, exquisite interior, and an ultimate driving experience. It's the perfect blend of luxury and sport. The saleswoman guided Lin Xian and the others to a BMW 8 series and introduced it. Lin Xian walked up to it, carefully examining the cool car in front of him, then got in the driver's seat to experience it for himself. He was very satisfied, and thought his father would really like it. "Is this the top-of-the-line BMW 8 series?" Lin Xian looked up and asked. The saleswoman smiled and shook her head, replying, "No. If you want the top-of-the-line model, you can follow me and I'll show you the car over here." With that, she led the group to another BMW parked not far away. This is the BMW 8 Series i840 edition, which is the top-of-the-line BMW 8 Series. The saleswoman said, opening the car door and inviting Lin Xian to get in and experience it for himself. Lin Xian sat in the car and felt the comfort and quality of the top luxury sedan, and he was very satisfied. The saleswoman then gave a detailed introduction to the BMW 8 Series i840, from the cool exterior design to the exquisite and luxurious interior details, and then to the high-end and advanced configurations. "I'll take this one." Lin Xian gave a satisfied smile. "Thank you very much, sir, for your choice, but since there is only one BMW 8 Series top-of-the-line model in the store, this car you ordered may not be delivered to you for 3 days." The saleswoman handed Lin Xian a contract. "Okay, thanks." Lin Xian looked at the contract and paid the deposit without any problems. After the transaction was completed, Lin Xian and the two of them left the BMW 4S store and returned to the Mi Su-7 car. Lin Xian started the car and Mi Su-7 drove towards home. "CC, have you decided on a car yet?" Li Mengyao looked back at Lin CC and asked tenderly. "Not yet, sister-in-law." Lin Cece gave a sly smile. At first, Lin Cece thought that even if her brother bought her a new car, it wouldn't be very expensive, at most a couple $100,000. Unexpectedly, her brother is now so rich that he can buy a car for 1 million yuan, so she had to think carefully about how to rip him off. Soon, the Xiaomi SU7 parked steadily in the community parking lot, and the three took the elevator to their front door. "We're back," Lin Xian shouted while opening the door. Zhang Shulan heard the sound and walked out of the kitchen, her face full of smiles. "Hey, you're back. Was the aquarium fun?" "It was fun." Li Mengyao smiled slightly. "That's good. Wash your hands and get ready for dinner," Zhang Shulan said, turning and walking into the kitchen. Lin Xian and Lin Sisi glanced at each other. "Mom cooking today at noon?" Chapter 54, Maybe they'll be twins. Lin Xian and Lin Sisi, who had always been skeptical about their mother's cooking, secretly peeked into the kitchen. It turned out that their father, Lin Zhenghua, was inside instructing Zhang Shulan on how to cook. Zhang Shulan's serious cooking wasn't actually too bad, but in order to let his daughter-in-law, Li Mengyao, taste even more delicious dishes, he asked Lin Zhenghua to give her some pointers. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and Lin Sisi finally let go of their worries. Before long, 4 exquisite dishes and a bowl of delicious soup were neatly placed on the table. "It's time to eat," Zhang Shulan shouted. The family sat around the table one after the other. Lin Xian first took a piece of spare ribs and put it in his mouth to taste. Although it wasn't as delicious as the ones he made, the taste was really not bad. "What do you think? Don't think your mother really can't cook?" Zhang Shulan said, looking at her son's shocked expression. "Mengyao, come try this piece of spare rib." Zhang Shulan picked up a piece of fragrant spare rib and gently placed it in Li Mengyao's bowl. As Mengyao's mother-in-law, she naturally had to personally cook a sumptuous meal for her daughter-in-law. Deliciously, Mengyao gave a contented and happy smile after taking a bite. "Mom, you should do this from now on, I really like it," Lin Sisi said with a contented smile, taking a bite of the beef. Okay, I'll cook for you from now on." Zhang Shulan was also overjoyed. The family enjoyed this heartwarming lunch together. After lunch, everyone went to their rooms to pack their bags, as they were going to Lin Xian's hometown in the afternoon to visit his grandparents. After Lin Xian and Li Mengyao finished packing, they lay down on the bed together to take a nap. At this time, Li Mengyao was tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. Lin Xian sensed something was wrong and reached out to gently hug Li Mengyao. "Honey, are you nervous?" Lin Xian asked tenderly. Li Mengyao said, shrinking her little head into Lin Xian's embrace. "Don't be nervous. My grandparents are very easygoing people. Besides, you're going to give them a great-grandchild soon. The old folks are overjoyed and can't wait to meet you." Lin Xian stroked Li Mengyao's hair gently, bowed slightly, and gave her a light kiss on the forehead. "Then, do your grandparents have a preference for boys? What if I give birth to 2 girls?" Li Mengyao raised her head slightly, her eyes full of worry. "My grandfather might be slightly biased, but my grandmother isn't. She really likes children. Look at Sisi, my grandmother loves her more than me." Lin Xian smiled. After all, they are from the older generation, and it is impossible to say that they don't have a little bit of a preference for boys. But in Lin Xian's opinion, it doesn't matter whether you have a boy or a girl. Besides, it might be twins. Lin Xian continued to smile. How could that be such a coincidence? Li Mengyao laughed softly, and she wasn't as nervous after hearing Lin Xian's words. Anyway, the decision of whether the baby is a boy or a girl depends on her husband, not her. Li Mengyao nestled in Lin Xian's arms, feeling the warmth he brought, and soon fell asleep. Time quickly came to the afternoon. After their lunch break, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao were ready to head to their hometown of Yunshan Town. "Honey, let's go." Li Mengyao had put on light makeup. She had changed into a snow-white dress with a modest cut, paired with a cute bow-tie neckline design, perfectly presenting a unique, gentle and fresh feeling in the summer. The whole person looked ethereal and lively. Lin Xian couldn't take his eyes off her, and it took him a while to come back to his senses. He muttered 2 words, "She looks good." "Then let's go quickly." Li Mengyao laughed lightly, reached out and grabbed Lin Xian, who was still in a daze, and walked out of the room together. Lin Zhenghua and Zhang Shulan were also ready, while Lin Sisi followed closely behind her parents. The group arrived at the community parking lot. "Sisi, whose car are you going to take?" Lin Zhenghua opened the door of his slightly outdated BMW and asked. "Of course I'm taking your car, brother." Lin Sisi plopped down in the back seat of the new SU7. "It's still new, so it's comfortable." Lin Zhenghua looked at his old BMW inside. It's time to buy a new one, since his daughter doesn't like it anymore. Lin Zhenggui and Zhang Shulan then got into the car together and started driving towards Yunshan town. Meanwhile, Lin Xian carefully arranged Li Mengyao in the back seat and then quickly started the car, with the Misu 7 following closely behind. At first, Lin Xian's Xiaomi Su7 followed his father closely in the urban area of Yunhai, but once they got on the highway, Lin Xian didn't hesitate to speed up, leaving his father's car far behind in an instant. "What's the point of the brat driving so fast?" Zhang Shulan said angrily. "Honey, it's not that our son is driving fast, it's just that our car is too slow," Lin Zhenggui explained. "Oh, I see. Then you should find time to buy a new one." Zhang Shulan looked at the old BMW and agreed that it was time to replace it. She had always wanted to save money for Lin Xian to get married and have a wife, for fear that he, with his thick head, would never get married. But she never had to spend the money, because she had a wife and child. Thinking about this, Zhang Shulan felt that her son was quite capable after all. Great! Lin Zhenggui grinned, happy that he had finally got his wife's permission to buy a new car. An hour and a half later, Lin Xian arrived first at the Yunshan town exit and parked the car by the roadside to wait for his father. 15 minutes later, Lin Zhenggui finally drove off the highway and once again took the lead towards their hometown. Lin Xian followed closely behind, just as he had in the city. Soon, the two cars slowly pulled into an isolated small villa. Lin Xian's grandparents were already waiting at the door. Grandparents. Lin Cece was the first to open the car door and happily ran up to them. "Hey, Cece, how have you been at school lately?" Grandma asked with a kind face. "Very well." Lin Cece smiled happily. Lin Zhenggui and Zhang Shulan also got out of the car and came to their grandparents. "Mom and Dad, we're back." Lin Zhenggui greeted. "It's good to be back. By the way, where's my granddaughter?" Grandma couldn't wait to ask. At that moment, she faintly saw a petite figure in the car. It turned out to be Li Mengyao, who had already fallen asleep in the car. "Honey, we're here." Lin Xian called out to Li Mengyao softly. "Have we arrived?" Li Mengyao rubbed her eyes and responded sleepily. Chapter 55, It looks fresh and lively. What caught Li Mengyao's eye was a mountain villa that towered into the sky, with a full 5 floors. The entire villa covered a wide area, with a deep courtyard, green grass, and clouds and mist, as if you were in a fairyland, showing off its luxurious atmosphere. Li Mengyao never imagined that Lin Xian's hometown had such a luxurious villa. Lin Xian led the still-dazed Li Mengyao out of the car. As soon as they got off the car, the grandparents warmly welcomed them. "Xianer, you've gained weight recently, huh?" Grandpa said with a big smile. "Xianer, is this our granddaughter-in-law?" Grandma asked with a smile. Lin Xian's grandfather has neatly combed white hair and looks like an upright old man, very similar to Lin Zhenggui. Although his body is slightly stooped, his upright posture and firm gaze reveal his composure and determination. Lin Xian's grandmother has a kind and peaceful face, always with a warm smile on it. Her voice is soft and gentle, like a spring breeze that is soothing to the face. "Hello, grandparents, my name is Li Mengyao, Lin Xian's wife." Li Mengyao politely introduced herself. Well, the granddaughter-in-law is really pretty." Grandma couldn't stop smiling. Grandpa also smiled contentedly. "Grandparents, just a moment." After greeting them, Li Mengyao turned around and went back to the trunk of the Misu 7, beckoning Lin Xian to help her carry 2 boxes of beautifully packaged health products. "Grandparents, this is a small token of our appreciation for meeting you for the first time." Li Mengyao handed the grandparents the health products. "My dear, you're here now, so what's the point of bringing gifts? Let's go inside and sit down," said Grandma gently. Then, she carefully took Li Mengyao's hand and slowly walked into the villa. As soon as they entered the villa, Li Mengyao was overwhelmed by the luxurious scene before her. The villa was exquisitely decorated, and every detail showed the owner's taste and wealth. Various kinds of precious mahogany furniture were arranged in an orderly manner. Everyone sat down in the spacious and bright hall. "This will be your home too, my child. Don't be nervous," said the grandmother kindly. "Thank you, Grandma," Li Mengyao replied softly, but she was still a little nervous. "How many weeks pregnant are you, my child?" Grandma couldn't wait to ask, staring at Li Mengyao's belly. The 2 elderly people were overjoyed to hear that their granddaughter was pregnant. 14 weeks, Li Mengyao whispered shyly. "How are the babies developing? Have you been to the hospital to have a look?" Grandma continued to ask. "Grandma, the babies are developing very well, and the doctor said they are twins." At this point, Lin Xian walked over to Li Mengyao, gently took her hand, and tried to ease her nervousness. Then he smiled and said to Grandma, "Xianer, you're not trying to make us old people happy, are you? Are they really twins?" Grandma was so surprised that she couldn't stop smiling. "It's true. Look, I've even brought the pregnancy test report." Lin Xian handed a pregnancy test report to her grandmother. "Old man, go and get my reading glasses," Grandma hurriedly said to her grandfather. Grandpa was obviously shocked by the news too. He stood up hurriedly and rushed back to the room to get 2 pairs of glasses. After putting on their glasses, the 2 elderly people stared intently at the pregnancy test report, which boldly stated the word twins. Grandma's eyes were moist with emotion, and a gleam of joy shone in her eyes. Grandpa, who was usually so composed, could not help but show his happiness either, his mouth curling up into a blissful smile. "That's great, old man," Grandma said, excitedly grasping Grandpa's arm. "Yes, dear, you go and get dinner ready, everyone's hungry," Grandpa responded excitedly. "Oh yes, now is the time to replenish nutrients, the babies must be hungry, you see I'm so happy I forgot. Granddaughter-in-law, I'll go prepare dinner, it won't take long." Grandma smiled and said to Li Mengyao, then quickly walked into the kitchen. "Wife, I'll go to the kitchen and help Grandma cook." Lin Xian smiled. "Well, go." Li Mengyao nodded. With Lin Xian's help, the table was soon filled with delicious food. Grandma kept helping Li Mengyao by serving her food, as if she was afraid that she would get hungry. This scene reminded Li Mengyao of when she first arrived at Lin Xian's house, and Zhang Shulan also served her food with such enthusiasm. Lin Xian, on the other hand, would eat all the food that Li Mengyao couldn't finish. Of course, Grandma would also serve Lin Xian and Lin Sisi food, and the family had a happy time together at the table. After dinner, everyone sat together in the spacious and bright hall watching TV. Li Mengyao leaned lightly against Lin Xian's side, feeling incredibly happy that Lin Xian's family was so nice to her. When night fell, Lin Xian and Li Mengyao lay together on the soft, comfortable bed. "Husband, I never thought your hometown had such a luxurious villa," Li Mengyao couldn't help but ask curiously. "My grandfather used to do business, so he saved up a lot of money," Lin Xian explained with a slight smile. "So Grandma only had one child?" Li Mengyao hadn't yet met any of Lin Xian's other relatives. "Of course not. Grandma had 2 sons and 2 daughters, and my father is the youngest," Lin Xian said. In the 1970s and 1980s, many families had several children. "So none of them have come back?" Li Mengyao continued. "They are all in other cities. One of my aunts is even in a different province. They usually come back only during the Chinese New Year," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Okay, it's getting late. Let's go to bed early and I'll show you around town tomorrow," Lin Xian said, smiling. Lin Xian gently hugged Li Mengyao to calm her down and help her fall asleep. Li Mengyao felt Lin Xian's warmth and quickly fell asleep. The next morning, the sun shone through the clouds, dyeing the earth a golden yellow. After breakfast, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao hand and strolled through Yunshan town. They walked hand in hand through the streets and alleys of Yunshan town. Yunshan town is surrounded by mountains, which are lush and green, making it seem like an isolated paradise. The streets of the town are filled with a peaceful and harmonious atmosphere. The residents greet each other with big smiles on their faces, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. "Xian? You're back?" A voice suddenly came from behind. Lin Xian turned his head and saw a middle-aged woman approaching. "Yes, Auntie Wu, I just arrived last night." Lin Xian smiled. "Hey, who is this?" Auntie Wu's gaze fell on Lin Xian and Li Mengyao's clasped hands, and a kind smile appeared on her face. "She is my daughter-in-law," Lin Xian introduced with a smile. "Hello, Auntie." Li Mengyao said hello politely. "Hello, the little girl is really pretty, she looks fresh and lively," Auntie Wu praised. Li Mengyao's cheeks flushed slightly upon hearing this, and she shyly lowered her head. Chapter 56 Xiao Kuxuan. Little girl, you don't know, when Xiao Kuxuan was a child. Auntie Wu saw that Li Mengyao was a little shy, and was about to say something embarrassing about Lin Xian when he was a child, but Lin Xian interrupted hastily. "Alas, Auntie Wu, can you not mention my childhood in front of my wife?" Let Auntie Wu continue. Li Mengyao's beautiful eyes blinked lightly, revealing a hint of curiosity. "You see, even your wife wants to hear it." Auntie Wu laughed lightly and continued, "Don't look at Lin Xian now, he's grown into a tall, handsome man, but when he was little, he was really a crybaby. If anything went wrong, or if he was touched lightly, he would start crying. Back then, he was really arrogant, so we all called him Little Crybaby, haha. Li Mengyao burst out laughing, her husband turned out to be a crybaby. Auntie Wu, you were going to go shopping, so hurry up and go, and we'll hang out here. Lin Xian scratched his head awkwardly, trying to change the subject. Ha ha ha, I won't disturb you too then. Auntie Wu smiled and left. Looking at Auntie Wu's receding back, Li Mengyao's mouth curled up slightly, staring at Lin Xian with a half smile. Honey, so you were such a crybaby when you were little, how come I never noticed? A hero doesn't talk about his past exploits. Lin Xian blushed slightly. Li Mengyao gave a derisive sound. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao then went to a shop selling Yunshan Town's local specialties. Uncle Yi! Lin Xian shouted. Hey, isn't that Xiao Xian? When did you get back? A middle-aged man with a slightly plump figure and a smile on his face turned around and said in a friendly tone. He was wearing a white chef's uniform with some flour on it, and he was holding a spoon in his hand, obviously just busy making pastries. I just got back last night, and here I am looking for you in the morning. Lin Xian smiled slightly. You're just sweet-talking me, and you want to eat Yunshan pastries again, right? Ha ha ha. Uncle Yi laughed, and the wrinkles at the corners of his eyes crumpled into a ball. Lin Xian scratched his head and laughed a little embarrassedly. Hee hee, you really understand me, but this time it's not just me. With that, he stepped aside, and a beautiful and moving woman appeared in front of Uncle Yi. This is my daughter-in-law. I brought her here to try your Yunshan pastries. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and introduced her to Uncle Yi. Hello, Uncle Yi. Li Mengyao said politely. Hello. Hello. Your daughter-in-law is really pretty. I didn't expect Xiao Xian to get married so young. Wait, Uncle Yi will make 2 Yunshan pastries for you personally and wish you a happy marriage. After saying this, Uncle Yi turned around and went back to the workbench, where he started to busily work with skill. He first kneaded the dough, which had been prepared earlier, into a ball, then flattened it gently with a rolling pin, added the various fillings, and finally formed it into an exquisite shape. Every movement looked so skillful and confident, as if he were creating a work of art. Soon, the sweet smell of the pastries filled the air. Lin Xian and Li Mengyao couldn't help but lean closer, sniffing the tempting aroma, and waited with bated breath. A moment later, Uncle Yi handed them 2 carefully crafted Yunshan pastries. The pastries were brightly colored and small, with a few crystal-clear preserved fruits as decorations, like exquisite handicrafts. Wow, they're so beautiful! Li Mengyao exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with surprise. Try one, and see how it tastes. Uncle Yi looked at his creations with pride. Li Mengyao carefully picked up a piece of pastry and put it in her mouth, taking a small bite. Immediately, a rich sweetness melted in her mouth, the outside crispy and the inside soft, leaving a lasting aftertaste. Delicious. Li Mengyao's happy eyes were all smiles. Lin Xian saw that his wife was so happy to eat it, and he also picked up a piece of pastry and took a bite. Uncle Yi, your craftsmanship is really getting better and better. Lin Xian nodded with satisfaction. I'm glad you like it. How long are you staying? I'll make some more for you to take home when you leave. Uncle Yi smiled. Thank you, Uncle Yi. Lin Xian said. Ha ha, when did Xian become so polite? You used to come to my place all the time when you were little and never said thank you. Uncle Yi laughed heartily. You've grown up now. Lin Xian scratched his head embarrassedly. Let's keep exploring. See you later, Uncle Yi. Okay, see you next time. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's hand and continued walking through the town. Soon, the two arrived at an old bridge. Below the bridge was a river, and from time to time, small boats passed through. The two continued walking and arrived at a small stream. There were a few households around the stream, giving it a feeling of a small bridge and a stream with people's homes. The stream here is clear and transparent, and you can clearly see small shrimp swimming in it. Li Mengyao walked up to the stream and used her small hand to feel it. The water here is ice cold and so refreshing. In the past, when it was very hot in the summer, I even took a bath here. Lin Xian said with a smile. Shame on you. Li Mengyao's face flushed with a smile, responding coquettishly. Honey, we should probably go back soon. Lin Xian glanced at the time and said. Li Mengyao nodded lightly. The two quickly returned home. We're home. Lin Xian shouted. Mengyao must be tired, come here and rest for a while. Grandma took Li Mengyao by the hand and asked her to sit down next to her. Brother, did you bring me any pastries? At this time, Lin Cece dashed out of the house and asked anxiously. Yes, your sister-in-law knows you like them and bought them especially for you. Lin Xian took a Yunshan pastry from behind his back and handed it to his sister. The pastry gave off a tempting aroma that made people drool. It turned out that when Lin Xian and Li Mengyao returned home just now, Lin Xian casually mentioned that his sister also liked Yunshan pastry. Li Mengyao didn't say a word and immediately turned around to go back to the pastry shop and buy another one. Thank you, sister-in-law. Lin Cece also sat next to Li Mengyao, her face beaming with a happy smile. Lin Xian then went into the kitchen and started preparing lunch. After a hearty lunch, everyone went to their respective rooms to rest. After taking a nap in the afternoon, Lin Xian received a message from his father, Lin Zhenggui. Son, do you want to go fishing? Lin Xian looked back at Li Mengyao, who was still asleep, leaned slightly and whispered in her ear, Honey, can I go fishing with Dad? Yes, go, Li Mengyao muttered subconsciously before falling asleep again. In the afternoon, Lin Xian went out fishing with Lin Zhenggui and his grandfather. After waking up, Li Mengyao felt a bit bored, so she sat in the hall quietly playing with her phone to pass the time. Just then, her grandmother came over with a wobbly gait, holding a thick photo album in her hands. She came to Li Mengyao's side. Grandma, what is this? Li Mengyao asked curiously. This is Lin Xian's childhood photo album. Grandma answered with a smile. Chapter 57, They must have been very close. Li Mengyao flipped through the album, and what came into view were Lin Xian's childhood photos. There were photos of Lin Xian's cute, full moon-like face, with round eyes looking curiously at the world, his mouth slightly open, revealing a hint of an innocent smile. There were also photos of him over a year old, giggling while holding a colorful ball. There were also photos of him at the age of 2, starting to walk independently, wobbling unsteadily. She carefully examined each photo and felt Lin Xian's happy childhood. Grandma, was Lin Xian very naughty when he was little? Li Mengyao asked. Yes, he was very naughty when he was little, and he often wet the bed. Grandma recalled with a smile. Li Mengyao continued to flip to another page, which showed Lin Xian and a little girl holding hands and smiling happily. This is Lin Xian and his childhood playmate. Grandma pointed at the little girl in the picture. Oh. It's a girl. Li Mengyao couldn't help but feel a surge of curiosity. She continued to flip through the album and found that there were many more photos with this little girl. They must have been very close, Li Mengyao said to herself. Meanwhile, Lin Xian, his father Lin Zhenggui, and his grandfather arrived at the reservoir near Yunshan town to start their fishing trip. The three men prepared their fishing gear, adjusted their fishing rods, hung the prepared bait on the hooks, gave them a good shake, and started fishing, waiting for the fish to bite. As usual, the competition was to see who could catch the most fish, and the catch would be weighed. Lin Zhenggui said confidently. Dad, don't you remember how badly you lost last time? Lin Xian said with a smile. I was unlucky last time, it doesn't count. Lin Zhenggui defended himself. Lin Zhenggui now has a new fishing rod from his daughter-in-law, so he can change his fortune. Okay, let's do it again, sunset is the limit. Grandpa laughed along. Half an hour passed, and Lin Xian's bell rang first, and at the same time the fishing rod shook violently. He's hooked. He's hooked. It looks like a big fish. Lin Xian grabbed the fishing rod excitedly, quickly tightened the fishing line, and began to play with the big fish. In a short while, the big fish gradually ran out of strength. Lin Xian slowly retracted the fishing line, then gave it a strong pull. A huge sea bass was successfully pulled ashore. Lin Xian quickly reached out to grab the fish, carefully weighed it, and a smile of joy appeared on his face. Hey, it weighs more than 3 Jin. Cut it out, the fish I catch later will definitely be bigger than yours. Lin Zhenggui watched from the side, full of envy, but still put on an air of disdain. Time passed by the minute, and 10 minutes later, Grandpa's bell also rang, and the fishing rod was also shaking, but obviously not as violently as Lin Xian just did. As an old friend of fishing, Grandpa just collected the fishing line without panic, his movements were skillful and steady. Before long, a grass carp leaped out of the water, weighing about more than a catty. Zhenggui, you're the only one who hasn't caught anything yet, Grandpa said with a smile. The big fish are all coming later. Just wait and see. Lin Zhenggui continued to stare intently at his fishing rod, not daring to let his guard down for even a moment, as if he was afraid of missing any chance to hook a fish. Meanwhile, next to him, Lin Xian and Grandpa were leisurely sipping the fine tea guanyin, feeling exceptionally relaxed. Hey, another one! Lin Xian shouted excitedly. His bell rang again, and his fishing rod began to shake nonstop. "I've got something here too." Almost at the same moment, Grandpa's bell also sounded a pleasant sound. The sun was about to set, and Lin Xian already had 4 fish in his bucket. Apart from the first catch, which weighed 3 catties, the rest were all about 1 catty each, making a total of 6 catties. Grandpa, on the other hand, had caught 3 fish, all weighing more than 1 catty, making a total of almost 4 catties. Looking into Lin Jingwa's bucket, he noticed that there was nothing in it but water, not even a single fish. Lin Zhangwa was incredulous. How come he hadn't caught a single fish? "Dad, the sun is about to set, let's just give up." Lin Xian walked up to his father and comforted him. "We're not even close yet, just wait a little longer." Lin Zhengwa still had a glimmer of hope. "Why don't I give you one? You can pick whichever one you like. I have to go home and cook for my wife." Lin Xian continued. Yes, Lin Xian missed his wife. "No need." Lin Zhengwa sighed slightly and then said, "Forget it, let's go." Just as Lin Zhengwa was about to pack up his fishing rod and go back, suddenly the bell started ringing and the fishing rod started shaking violently, no less intense than when Lin Xian had first encountered it. Obviously, there was something big here. "It's here. The fish is on the hook!" Lin Zhengwa exclaimed in delight. Lin Zhengwa rushed forward with lightning speed, firmly grasping the fishing rod. However, the big fish was incredibly strong, and even though he did his best, he could only barely maintain the situation and was unable to reel in the fishing line. "Son, come help me." Lin Zhengwa urgently called out to his son for assistance. "Coming." Lin Xian then joined the battle, and as the father and son slowly exerted their strength together, the big fish gradually lost its strength to struggle, and was gradually pulled closer to the shore. Just as it looked like it was about to surface, the big fish suddenly made a last-ditch effort and plunged to the bottom. In the end, the experienced grandfather took out a long fishing net and successfully caught the big fish. This fish was obviously a full circle larger than the 3-gene grass carp that Lin Xian had caught before. It was a big carp weighing more than 8 gene. What a big guy! Haha, I told you I could catch a big fish. How about it, I won this time, right? Lin Zhangwa said proudly. Yes, Dad, you win. Lin Xian smiled. Dad has rarely been so happy. Lin Zhangwa reached out with difficulty, trying to pick up the carp, but because the fish was so big and slippery, it took a lot of effort to finally succeed. With a smile on his face, he said to his son Lin Xian, "Son, come help Dad take a picture of this big fish to remember it by." Okay. Lin Xian quickly took out his mobile phone and pointed it at Lin Zhengwa's delighted smile, just as he was about to take the photo. But then something unexpected happened. The fish in Lin Zhengwa's hands suddenly started to shake violently. At that moment, Lin Zhengwa was completely immersed in his joy and, without noticing, the big carp slipped from his hands and fell into the water with a plop. Lin Zhengwa looked at the big carp that had escaped from his hands and felt very aggrieved for a moment. Lin Xian was also very embarrassed holding the mobile phone. Should he take the photo or not? Maybe I should take it. With a click, Lin Xian took a photo of Lin Zhengwa looking so aggrieved. Chapter 58, My wife is jealous. Did you catch a big fish? No. Lin Zhengwa wanted to cry but had no tears. 7 p.m. We're back. Lin Xian, Lin Zhengwa, and Grandpa returned home together. Back already? How was it? Did you catch anything? Grandma asked with a smile. Yes, Xian caught a 3-catty bass. Grandpa said happily. Really? Xian is so good. Grandma praised. However, when Grandma saw the 3 buckets, she noticed that only Lin Zhengwa's bucket had the fewest fish, just 1. It turned out that on the way back, Lin Xian saw that his father in the passenger seat was frowning with worry, so he couldn't bear to do it and gave him one of his fish. Zhengwa, why is there only 1 fish in your bucket? Grandma asked curiously. Yes, Dad, why did you only catch so little? At this time, Lin Cece also ran up to take a look. Sigh, I caught a big carp that weighed 8 catties, but who knew that I slipped and lost my grip, letting it get away. Lin Zhengwa became more and more frustrated as he talked. You're just bragging. If you didn't catch it, you didn't catch it. Zhang Shulan happened to walk over and heard this, and she shrugged her shoulders disdainfully. Lin Zhengwa had no way to express his grievances. What could he do? He didn't hold it steady, and he didn't get a picture, so he could only silently endure his wife's mockery. Where's Meng Yao? Lin Shen looked left and right, but he didn't see his wife come out to greet him. She went back to rest after looking at the photo album of when you were a child this afternoon. I guess she's sleeping, so I didn't disturb her, Grandma replied. I'll go take a look. Before the words had finished leaving her mouth, Lin Xian had reached the door to the room, opened it quietly, and walked in. The room was pitch black, with no lights on, and on the bed lay a petite figure. Li Mengyao was sleeping. Lin Xian walked carefully to the edge of the bed, slowly sat down, and then leaned over to carefully examine the sleeping appearance of Li Mengyao. Just then, Lin Xian suddenly noticed that a few tears had appeared in the corner of Li Mengyao's eyes. It turned out that in her sleep, Li Mengyao had dreamed of a terrifying scene. The girl in the photo had returned and found Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had chosen without hesitation to leave her and turned to leave with his childhood sweetheart. Husband, don't leave me. Li Mengyao suddenly woke up from the nightmare. At this time, her eyes were slightly red, and tears were flowing down her face, looking incredibly pitiful and helpless. Lin Xian was anxious and quickly reached out to gently hug Li Mengyao and gently stroke her silky, soft hair. Honey, did you have a nightmare? Don't be afraid, I'm here for you. I'll never leave you, Lin Xian whispered soothingly. At this moment, Li Mengyao realized that she had just had a nightmare. Seeing Lin Xian come back, the stone in her heart finally dropped. Honey, you're back? I'm sorry if I scared you, I just had a nightmare. Li Mengyao tilted her head slightly, her mouth curling up into a faint smile, quietly gazing at the man in front of her who made her heart feel at ease. What kind of nightmare was it that made you cry? Lin Xian, full of concern, reached over the table and picked up a tissue, and gently and delicately wiped Li Mengyao's pale and delicate cheeks. It's nothing, just a horrible nightmare. Honey, don't worry, I'm fine now. Li Mengyao gave a small smile. After Lin Xian returned, Li Mengyao felt much more at ease. Are you sure? Lin Xian vaguely sensed that something was wrong. Although Li Mengyao said she was fine, he could feel her deep-seated unease, but he didn't know how to ask about it. Just then, Li Mengyao took the initiative to extend her arms, wrapped her arms around Lin Xian's neck, and then gently left a kiss on his face. Really? Honey, let's go eat. At this time, Li Mengyao's eyes were still slightly red, and the tears on her face were still obvious. If Lin Xian were to take Li Mengyao out to dinner at this time and be seen by everyone, he would definitely be beaten up. No, absolutely not. My dear, you don't look well. I caught a 3-pound bass today, I'll make a bass casserole for you. You rest here. Lin Xian hurriedly said. Li Mengyao nodded slightly. Lin Xian then lowered his head and left a kiss on Li Mengyao's forehead before walking out of the room. After Lin Xian left the room, he went to the kitchen and started preparing dinner. At this time, Zhang Shulan also walked in and asked Lin Xian. Son, where is my daughter-in-law? Has she not woken up yet? No, I will bring her dinner later. You guys eat at the table first. Lin Xian responded while chopping the fish with one hand and holding the knife with the other. Okay then. Just be careful, Zhang Shulan instructed. In a short while, Lin Xian had made 2 fragrant sea bass buns. One was placed on the table for everyone to enjoy, while the other was taken upstairs alone. Wife, dinner is ready. Lin Xian placed the food on the table, which included sea bass casserole, braised pork ribs, and a plate of vegetables. Among them, the sea bass casserole was made by cutting the sea bass into pieces and stewing it with vegetables, tofu, and other ingredients, plus the secret seasoning given by the system, which was truly delicious. Wow, it smells good. Li Mengyao looked at the food and saw that it was all her favorite dishes. Here, husband, let me feed you. Lin Xian picked up a piece of tender, juicy fish and stuffed it into Li Mengyao's mouth. It's delicious. Li Mengyao's eyes were smiling from ear to ear. After a pleasant dinner, Lin Xian cleaned up the dishes and returned to the kitchen. Let Grandma do the dishes. Grandma smiled and took the bowl from Lin Xian's hands, saying gently. Grandma, what photo album did you show Mengyao this afternoon? Lin Xian handed over the bowl and chopsticks and asked curiously. It's the one of you when you were little. It's still on the table in the living room, Grandma said with a smile and pointed. After hearing this, Lin Xian walked into the living room and sure enough, an album was quietly lying on the table. He opened the album and it was full of photos of him when he was little. There didn't seem to be anything special about it. Lin Xian continued to flip through the album, and suddenly his gaze stopped on a photo. It was a photo of him and a little girl, the two of them holding hands and looking extraordinarily close. So that's it. My wife is jealous. Lin Xian returned to the doorway of the room, pushed open the door, and saw Li Mengyao sitting in front of the dressing table, gently wiping away the tear stains around her eyes with a cotton pad. Honey, that way it won't be obvious. Li Mengyao turned her head and gave Lin Xian a charming smile. Well, it's not obvious. Lin Xian looked at her with pain in his heart, walked up to her and gently stroked her cheek, tenderly saying, Honey, let's go to the roof to watch the moon. The starry sky in the small town is beautiful, Lin Xian continued. Okay, Li Mengyao gave a bright smile. Chapter 59. So don't be jealous, wife. The two of them held hands as they went to the roof. The night breeze caressed their faces, bringing a slight chill. The starry sky above them was dazzling, and a bright moon hung in the sky, casting a silvery light. Lin Xian moved over a double lazy chair, which he had bought when he went to university. Every night when he returned home, he would lie comfortably on it, playing with his phone while admiring the bright moon in the sky. Lin Xian carefully helped Li Mengyao lie down on the lazy chair, then gently lay down next to her and gently embraced her in his arms. The moon is so beautiful tonight. Li Mengyao looked up at the stars and whispered to Lin Xian. Yes, but my wife is even more beautiful. Lin Xian smiled. You're just being cheeky. Li Mengyao rolled her eyes coquettishly. Honey, is this the reason you have nightmares about this photo? Lin Xian took out the photo he had just found in the photo album. How did you know? Li Mengyao's cheeks flushed with a hint of red, and she responded with some stammering. From here, can you see the villa across the street? Lin Xian reached out and pointed across the street. Li Mengyao looked in the direction of his finger and indeed found a villa similar to Lin Xian's home. She was my best friend when I was a child, and we could be said to have been childhood sweethearts. Oh, when Li Mengyao heard the words childhood sweethearts, her mood instantly became low. I'm not done yet. Lin Xian gently cupped Li Mengyao's face, looked into her eyes, and said with a smile. We grew up playing together, she treats me like a younger brother, and I see her as my own older sister, nothing like what you're thinking in your head. I know. Li Mengyao now realized that she had been thinking too much, but she had lacked a sense of security since she was a child, and coupled with the fact that she was pregnant, she would unconsciously think irrational thoughts. So, don't be jealous, my dear. Lin Xian lowered his head slightly, and his forehead lightly touched Li Mengyao's. I'm not jealous. Li Mengyao tried to defend herself, but Lin Xian sealed her lips. There is nothing that a deep kiss cannot resolve. If that doesn't work, then another kiss. We're still at home, what if someone sees us? Li Mengyao pouted and gave Lin Xian a hard pinch on his waist. It's fine, I just locked the door from the roof, they can't come up. Lin Xian wasn't afraid of the pain and let his wife pinch him. Li Mengyao was at her wit's end with this shameless husband. In the future, you mustn't hold back any thoughts, and you must discuss them with your husband, okay? Lin Xian hugged Li Mengyao tightly and whispered. Li Mengyao nodded slightly, revealing a sweet smile. Their eyes met, and both of them had an idea at the same time. Their faces got closer and closer, and they were about to kiss when... Knock, knock, knock. There was a sudden loud knocking on the door. Brother, sister-in-law, are you up there? Lin Xian, stupid sister, you ruined my fun. We're here. Li Mengyao, as if waking from a dream, pushed Lin Xian away in panic and then stood up. Lin Xian also helplessly walked to the door and reluctantly opened the door to the roof. He saw Lin Sisi standing outside the door, her gaze falling on her sister-in-law Li Mengyao's flushed face, and she asked curiously. Brother, sister-in-law, Grandma told me to tell you to come down and eat some fruit. Then she winked mischievously and revealed a sly smile. Obviously, she was not a 3-year-old child, but a high school student, and of course she knew something about men and women. Sister-in-law, why is your face so red? Lin Sisi asked playfully. It's a little hot, Li Mengyao stammered in explanation. No, it's quite cool on the roof, and there's a breeze, Lin Sisi said after feeling it. Okay, don't ask questions about grown-up things. Go downstairs quickly, we'll be there in a minute. Lin Xian quickly sent his younger sister away. Lin Sisi then skipped downstairs. Humph, it's all your fault. Li Mengyao glared at him angrily. Yes, it's all my fault. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao's soft, delicate hand and carefully helped her downstairs. As soon as Grandma saw her granddaughter, she welcomed her with a smile. Mengyao, are you feeling unwell? Grandma asked with concern. No, I just felt a little drowsy. Li Mengyao explained gently. That's good, come and have some fruit. Grandma smiled as she placed a beautifully cut fruit platter in front of Li Mengyao. MMM. Li Mengyao first picked up a small piece of cantaloupe and quickly stuffed it into Lin Xian's mouth before continuing to pick up the fruit and eat it in small bites. Everyone watching this scene revealed an anti-smile. Then everyone happily stayed together in the warm, spacious and bright living room to watch TV. After watching TV, they went back to their rooms to rest and sleep. Time quickly came to the next morning. After breakfast, the group welcomed a visit from their neighbors, the Lin Yaowen family. Lin Zhenghua and Lin Yaowen grew up together in Yunhai town and have been good friends since childhood. Lin Yaowen has been doing business abroad, but when he heard that his good friend Lin Zhenghua was about to become a grandfather, he said he had to come back to congratulate him. Lin Yaowen was accompanied by his wife Li Yanxia and their daughter Lin Wanqing. It is worth mentioning that this Lin Wanqing is the cute girl in the photo holding hands with Lin Xian. Comrade Zhenghua, I didn't realize you had beaten me to the punch, haha. Lin Yaowen walked into Lin Zhenghua's villa carrying an exquisite gift. That's right, I've always been one step ahead of you since we were kids. Haha, Lin Zhenghua happily responded, and the two of them smiled at each other and began to chat happily. Everyone, don't just stand in the doorway, come in and sit down. The more the merrier, you must stay for dinner today. Grandma greeted everyone with a smile. Hey, stinky brother. How have you been lately? A tall, slender woman with a delicate face rushed forward impatiently and gave Lin Xian a heavy slap on the shoulder. This person was Lin Wanqing, a typical domineering older sister. Qingjie, you're hurting me. Lin Xian touched his shoulder and already had a red mark. Li Mengyao, who was standing nearby, was even more stunned. Chapter 60, He's Afraid of Ghosts. Haha, I accidentally used too much force. It's okay, stinky brother, I didn't expect you to get married in just a few months. Where's my sister-in-law? Lin Wanqing laughed heartily. She's right here. Lin Xian took Li Mengyao, who was standing next to him, into his arms, his face beaming with happiness. This is my wife, Li Mengyao, Lin Xian introduced to Lin Wanqing. Lin Wanqing narrowed her eyes and looked up and down at Li Mengyao. She saw that the woman in front of her was tall and slender, with a beautiful and charming face, especially those charming eyes that seemed to captivate people's hearts. Stupid brother, how did this blockhead manage to get such a beautiful girl? It's unbelievable. Hello, Qingjie. Li Mengyao felt a little uncomfortable being stared at, so she took the initiative to say hello. Hello, Mengyao, isn't my sister-in-law just gorgeous? Lin Wanqing finally came back to her senses, quickly reached out and shook Mengyao's hand, smiling and praising her. You're also very pretty, Qingjie. Mengyao blushed and responded softly. You two really suit each other. Here, I wish you a happy marriage. Lin Wanqing took out a big red envelope from her bag and slipped it into Mengyao's hand. Sister Qing, where's mine? Lin Xian asked cheekily when he saw what was happening. It's the woman who controls the finances now, oh, and you've already given your share to Mengyao. Lin Wanqing answered with a mischievous wink. Lin Xian. Then everyone chatted and laughed in the spacious and bright living room. Time passed quickly, and before long it was lunchtime. Brother, go cook dinner, I'm hungry. Lin Wanqing shouted at Lin Xian. Lin Wanqing is a die-hard foodie and has always loved the food Lin Xian cooks. Knowing this, Lin Xian reluctantly went into the kitchen. After all, he is the only one who can cook well in the family. Soon, 40 minutes passed, and Lin Xian filled the dining table with dishes that looked and tasted delicious. Let's eat! Lin Xian shouted to the group. Everyone sat down at the table and started enjoying the delicious food. Wow, this tastes amazing! Brother, your cooking skills are getting better and better, Lin Wanqing exclaimed, munching on the beef in her mouth. She seemed to be completely immersed in the world of delicious food and couldn't stop eating. This is even more delicious than what I eat in 5-star hotels. Xianer, you're amazing, Lin Yaowen also praised Lin Xian generously. Yes, can Xianer teach me how to cook sometime? Li Yanxia chimed in. Of course I can. Lin Xian responded with a smile. Amidst laughter, everyone was content as they concluded this sumptuous and enjoyable lunch. After lunch, Lin Yaowen's family went back. Before leaving, Lin Wanqing invited Li Mengyao to come over to her house to play after she woke up in the afternoon, and Li Mengyao agreed. Lin Xian, on the other hand, continued to go to the reservoir from yesterday with his father Lin Zhenghua, and Lin Yaowen joined in as well. In the afternoon, after Lin Xian woke up, he drove his Xiaomi Su 7 with his father and uncle Lin Yaowen to the reservoir from the previous day. After getting off the car, Lin Zhenghua went to the familiar spot from the previous day and started fishing. Dad, why did you choose the same spot as yesterday? Lin Xian said. If I can catch one here, I can catch another. Just wait and see, son, I'm going to win today. Lin Zhenghua replied, staring intently at the water without looking back. You're just blowing smoke up my ass. And a big carp weighing 8 catties. Lin Yaowen immediately questioned Lin Zhenghua's claim to have caught a big carp weighing 8 catties yesterday, as he heard it in the car. Lin Zhenghua didn't take a photo of the big carp as evidence, so he ignored Lin Yaowen's questioning and just kept talking to himself about how big the carp was. Time passed by minute, and the 3 hours passed in a flash. Ha, here comes another one. Lin Yaowen happily shows off to Lin Zhenghua, who by now has 5 fish in his bucket, even though they are not very big. Meanwhile, Lin Xian has also managed to catch a fish. Today his luck is a bit off, but he also has 3 small fish. On the other hand, Lin Zhenghua has still not caught anything. Just when Lin Zhenghua feels that he is not suited to fishing, his bell starts ringing with a clear sound and the fishing rod shakes violently. Here it comes. Lin Zhenghua excitedly grabbed the fishing rod and did his best to fight fiercely with the big fish. Lin Xian also immediately joined the battle, helping his father slowly tighten the fishing line. This must be a big one. Lin Yaowen was also very excited. He picked up the long fishing net and got ready to finish the job. It didn't take long. With the father and son working together, the big fish gradually lost its strength and slowly floated to the surface. Lin Yaowen was quick and deft, and with one sweep of the net, he successfully ended the thrilling battle. The 3 of them couldn't wait to go over and take a look, and discovered that it was actually a big carp, and it was the one that had escaped yesterday. Quick, put it in the bucket. Lin Zhenghua hurriedly urged, afraid that it would escape again. Lin Zhenghua finally let out a sigh of relief after the big carp was thrown into the bucket. Ha, this is the fish I caught yesterday. I accidentally let it go, but I didn't expect to catch it again today, he said with joy. Not bad, it's really 8 catties heavy, Lin Yaowen praised. On the other side, Li Mengyao, who had just woken up in the afternoon, arrived at Lin Wanqing's house. Lin Wanqing's home had a similar style of decoration to Lin Xian's, both being single-family villas. Here comes my younger sister-in-law, come in. Lin Wanqing was wearing pajamas and had sleepy eyes, obviously having just woken up. She warmly greeted Li Mengyao and led her to the sofa in the living room to sit down. Then she took drinks and fruit from the refrigerator and put them on the table. Mengyao, I heard you're pregnant? Lin Wanqing asked curiously. Yes. Li Mengyao nodded with a smile. You just graduated not long ago, too. Lin Xian really doesn't know how to treat a lady. Lin Wanqing's tone carried a hint of reproach. Mengyao, don't worry. If Lin Xian bullies you, just tell me and I'll teach him a lesson. Lin Wanqing continued. No need. Lin Xian treats me very well. Li Mengyao took a gentle sip of her drink and responded tenderly. Lin Wanqing looked at her younger sister-in-law and liked her more and more the more she looked at her. Mengyao, let me tell you, although Lin Xian is a bit thick-skinned, he has one weakness, he's afraid of ghosts. Lin Wanqing gave a mysterious smile. Ha? Afraid of ghosts? Li Mengyao asked in puzzlement. She felt that no guy should be afraid of ghosts, let alone her handsome husband.